And then usually about 10 seconds later, Chuck goes, "Are we online?"
Oh. Are we?
But you'll know now.
Oh.
You will be pushing the button.
I will be the one pushing the
Are
button.
we online?
Yeah.
Are we online? I think we're online. It is time to tweet about it. I think we're online. Oh, great. Yeah. We are online.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Jans is here.
No. You will find out this summer.
Hi, everybody.
that is not a thing.
Now Jens totally talks like this.
So it doesn't.
Actually, no, that's not my Jens voice.
I don't see it.
I do. What's wrong with you?
Where is it?
I'm going to put it on the
There
book
it is.
face.
Boop. Boop. Open.
Do, 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 do.
Yep, there it goes. All right. Tweet.
Whoop.
And check spelling, because...
That's my man.
Check your tweet spelling.
Twelling. Tweety spelling.
Don't tweet like an illiterate. Tweet like a man.
Just don't get a spelling bot off after us.
Do you have the balls to tweet with correct spelling?
Yes. Balls.
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 My balls.
All right.
Oh, and if any of these things, including my headphones, if you're going to wear them, I don't know, you can wear your headphones. But the batteries are...
In the fridge.
No, they're not. They're in the drawer closest
Yeah, that
to
doesn't do anything. Why would you
Closest-
keep them in the fridge?
I don't.
Whoa.
Oh, that's
Gotta keep
just
'em-
Chuck.
Take it down a peg.
You used to. Got to keep them fresh, though.
So where are the batteries?
In the drawer.
Oh.
Drawer.
Like,
Oh, you have a battery drawer?
never mind.
Which drawer?
You know we
one?
are physically incapable of not harassing everyone for everything.
Which drawer?
What's one in the
Chuck's
kitchen?
going to need them.
The long
So he can
wall of
hear.
drawers, it's in the far corner one.
Okay.
So not the itty bitty tiny one that's there for no fucking reason.
All right.
But the one next to it.
The itty bitty tiny one's the one you put batteries in.
Sure.
Because they're so small.
Right.
Itty bitty tiny one. Drawer.
Band on the run.
You just got us flagged. You know that, right?
I don't sing that well. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Oh, man. I say this because the mouse is being kind of fucky, and I'm wondering if the battery's going dead.
That fucking mouse.
Fucky mouse.
So, banter.
F-U-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E, fucky mouse.
I mean, there's already...
Fucky
wow,
mouse.
there's like people here. There's lots of people here
Who the hell are you people?
Who are you people?
Blazing
Who are
Star.
we?
Sexy Star's cousin, Blazing Star.
Oh.
Deducimus Maximus,
Uh-huh.
who is Biggest Dickus's cousin.
Uh-huh. Go on.
Biggest Dicketh.
Yeah.
Continue.
Esteban L. Bird, who is... Esteban L. Bird. El Paraja.
Si. I mean, hui.
Ian, good guy and former Game Informer writer / intern.
Uh-huh.
Water Cooler Films, who is notable for their 31 horror movies in 31 days that you can find at youtube.com/watercooler.
Famous.
James Speed, guy I know from real life. Pally, famous dude from
Oh,
Twitter.
is he French? James Speed.
I'm curious to why Blazing Star thinks my shirt's so great, but thanks.
What is
It's a nice color. It's a nice shade of blue.
It's a vibrant blue.
It
It's
is.
very blue.
I like it.
It's quite blue.
It's a blue hue to match this can of Pepsi.
It is. You're a big Pepsi mark.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Steve
I
watched
prefer
Roar.
to be a Pepsi Smark.
Nope.
No.
The smartest
Sorry.
mark for
No.
Pepsi.
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
You don't
Aw.
get it.
Oh, I don't.
No.
Oh, no.
You might think you do.
Did I just break kayfabe?
No, that Pepsi is working you.
Oh, no. I thought it was a shoot.
Oh, shoot.
A bumbleshoot.
This will give me cheap heat amongst the Pepsi fans.
Amongst the Coca-Cola fans.
Right.
Yeah,
Wrong
yeah.
one.
If you know anything about
We're
wrestling.
like
A
Pepsi
cheap-
number one.
Pepsi will give me a cheap pop
Yes.
if you get the pun.
Yes, you would.
Ha!
Actually, that'd be an RC Cola.
Oh, shit.
No, that's Dr. Thunder.
Oh.
Sorry.
Dr. Popper, which we have in the fridge. You could be drinking some Dr. Popper right now. No,
Man.
Notice no one has gone for the Dr. Popper and or the knockoff
He's
Tahitian
my
treat
favorite
bullshit
harmonica
you have
player.
there.
the Tahitian Dream
Oh my god.
bubbly soda.
I don't want to touch that.
Yeah, no.
I'm
Pepsi.
afraid of
Because they were out of Coke.
I'm honestly surprised that hasn't melted through the container at this point.
Pepsi.
Come on.
Is Pepsi okay? Pepsi. Domino's. We're the Pepsi of pizza. Domino's.
I like that Taco Bell had the chicken shell taco. They officially announced it today during the Trump press conference
It distracted
to
some
kind of
people.
give us something happy to think about for once in our lives.
Yeah, it's like the double down of tacos.
They should,
yeah.
they should just go Arby's with it. They should just be like, look,
Listen,
this year is going to fucking suck.
Wait, right.
Eat this taco.
I already gave them their slogan. Get busy living or get busy dying or do both right now.
Well, Biggest Dickest' cousin has been around for a while because he just busted out a sea broth.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
I saw that. I saw
Deep cut.
It's not that deep. It's on the
Sea broth.
YouTube video.
that. Biggest.
Well, all right, fine, yes.
Sure, but it's still from 4 years ago.
But like, what was it up to 9 million?
Although I guess
people
that
have
is
seen
that,
video
is
now?
like our
Oh, yeah,
12
that's right,
million
'cause there's
video
boobs.
views.
Yeah, there's
Sea
boobs on
broth.
that video.
That's all right. If sea broth brings the
I'm
people
just-
to us,
Yeah.
I'm glad it was one of our funnier moments, and all of us contributed to it.
Yeah.
And then you put boobs in the thumbnail, and
Damn straight.
you secured its place in infamy.
Honestly, like the one it tried to pick was not that far off from what I used. I just zoomed it in a little bit and I was like, you know, if you can't see her loincloth, you think she's naked.
Yeah.
It's like the Mormon porn where you just put bubbles over everything. And
Wait, what? There's Mormon porn?
Would that be Porman? Pornman?
It's the poor man's poor man's
Poor man, poor man. Porn man.
Poor man's Mormon porn.
More man's poor man, porn man.
Oh God!
if you could
Don't say
portmanteau
that too many times.
that would be great.
oh, Ian's got it. Mormography. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we are all wearing fine shirts this evening.
Well, you're a fancy ass bastard over there. Right
Yeah, you still have your tie on, which
Yeah,
is
why?
a
Because
record, I
it's
think.
like it's not on.
Chuck
I
is
can't-
apparently the only one at work who has to actually like get dressed up and look
Yeah.
like a presentable
Just-
person.
That's also like, no offense, because you got to wear ties, but it reminds me of like every tie that my dad had in the late 80s, early 90s.
This is about that old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it your dad's tie?
I have not bought a tie in 20 years.
It's a dated tie, Chuck.
So I probably couldn't get. I mean, I might could if I had a little bit more tenure. I generally would not want to try to get away with wearing a T-shirt every day at work, but I kind of can. But yesterday I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm wearing a T-shirt," and I did. And I like totally forgot that. Number one, we had an all-staff meeting, and number two. I was sitting in on a fucking job interview for somebody else.
Nice.
So I just walked in. I was like, "What's up, y'all? got my Ninja Turtle shirt on.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do this."
You're setting the tone, man. You should have
Yeah.
just walked in and whipped your dick out and plopped it on the desk. It's been like, this is what it's like here, man.
Oh, that was so
Take it or
good.
leave it.
It was so good. At least with the all heads, it was like on video camera, and I just kind of like wore my hoodie and sat in back.
I appreciate that I chatted you and your screen was the live one at the time, and I wrote you on iChat. You're like, I'm glad you didn't say anything worse.
Yeah. Because sometimes you just open up with like, "Fuck my ass, this shit
Yeah.
is bullshit." Wait, whoa!
Fuck me in the
like
coach ass.
giant screen. Like, I mean, like I said, that was my bad. I generally close.
Do you have the balls to tell your boss to eat a fat dick? Today's the day, my friend. Apple Q, Apple Q, Apple Q.
I wish I could Apple Q. I have to Alt F4 at work.
Oh.
Windows key D will just minimize everything.
Yeah, except for it doesn't work when you're presenting something.
Yeah, but if you gotta
Sure.
you gotta go.
Well, I didn't actually have control of my computer at that moment either. It was kind of like the perfect storm. It was kind of awesome. Now it wasn't like in a room full of people, but like I'd handed my computer over to my boss, and then the person we were talking to was like, "Okay, I just sent something in like the WebEx chat or something like that," And like I watch my boss go right for the like chat window that's flashing at the bottom. I'm like, that's not it. And she like goes click, and I'm like, still not it. She's fucking like she's a tunnel vision computer user. It's like you can be
Whatever
saying
flashes.
whatever words. Like it's just like no, I have to computer now. Computer hard.
I must
Flashy thing must be it. Because I mean, you can literally like it's the icon over on the right. She's like over the left. It's like nope,
Nope.
nope.
That's the guy sending me goat porn. Just
Yep.
leave it.
That's goat sea porn. Sea goat porn. Porn goat porn.
Man, that was a damn good Snickers. It's been a long time since I had a Snickers. Like since Halloween.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably when those were in there.
Man, it satisfied me, as it says on the label. Satisfies.
Weird.
Good call, Snickers.
Yes, my boss is kind of like Jen from the IT crowd, only not as attractive.
Best before illegible date.
Good. You're
They
fine.
don't want you to know.
You're safe.
Yeah, peanuts don't go bad.
Hmm.
Right? Do they?
I don't know.
Nope.
No.
Good. Good. Good.
Cool.
Good.
Good.
Cool.
Good.
Good.
It's really good.
Cool.
Good.
Cool.
Good.
Anyway,
What?
light this candle?
Sure.
Oh, shit. I got to retweet that.
Oh.
For fuck's sake.
Twitter.com/BMFcast. That'll be the easiest way to find that hot tweet Chuck wrote up.
Cool. What's a tweet?
What's it say, Chuck?
Mm-hmm.
Do you spell everything right?
I didn't even read
Do
it.
you have
I
the
just,
balls to Twitter
I honestly don't even
correctly?
read them anymore. I'm just like, for some reason, the Blood Fist one, I was like,
He spelled
stop
things
reading.
correctly.
I did.
Oh, look at all those rhyming words. Look at you. Look at you, Chuck.
Oh, did you actually do something clever?
No. No.
Nah,
Don't get
define
wacky here.
clever.
So, are we fans of Band of the Hand? Was it grand? Come to the live stream land and find out. Man. You should have put thrown a man.
Yeah, man. Good. Good.
I only
good.
have 140
It's
characters.
implied.
Oh, okay.
It's implied.
Yeah. Hashtag man. Hashtag rhyme. Hashtag.
Come in the live
Blessed.
chat and talk with Ian.
I have not heard the old camp song "Found a Peanut."
Found a peanut. Found a
Has anybody wanted peanut?
peanut last night. Something
Really?
like that.
Huh?
It's one of those, you know.
It's a good time at camp when you bust out the peanut song.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Because you know what that means. You're fucking later. Yeah. You are. Chuck knows what I'm talking about.
I'm afraid I do.
This guy knows what I'm talking about.
This guy fucks.
He's like Bastion.
That's never not funny to me. Just, this guy fucks.
Oh, man. Wow.
All right, let's
Yep.
light
yeah,
this
we're juiced
vandal.
up. We're ready. Now we're ready to be boring and not funny.
Ah,
That's how we
This
do.
week on the BMFcast, it's time to do a thing at the movie.
There's a band of the hand.
Man, it's episode 359?
8.
8.
Oh.
8.
Fuck 359. I'm not coming.
Okay.
That one wasn't even good.
If it was a good one, that would have been great.
Yeah, you rushed it. You totally rushed it.
I think it's better because it was the worst.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey,
BMFcast.
Episode 358.
Ooh, that's a number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good number.
So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of the BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Hooray for Robot Jocks.
However, there are bad movies, so stay away. They get a negative sign scale, 1 to 5 bags, as in douchebags after Twilight.
Boo, we don't like Twilight.
No, we do not.
That's correct.
So we've had this movie on the request list for a very, very,
On the
very
request
long
list.
time.
Super long time.
And it just came out on Blu-ray like
This week.
This week, in fact.
Yesterday.
We have a copy.
It's a hot jam. It is 1986's Band of the Hand.
Right.
Band
Of the Hand.
Produced by Michael Mann.
Yeah.
Man. Band.
Theme song by Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
And some interstitial music by
a guy who sounds like Yan.
You blew it.
Yan.
You were so close.
Yan.
But yeah, 1986. Really short plot summary. Let's talk more about it. Juveniles. Whoop.
Okay, that is really short.
It's getting old. Juvenile lost causes are reformed by a war veteran using survival tactics. That's it.
Oh.
Accurate. Accurate.
Yeah.
And then some other things happen.
This is one of my favorite genres, is train criminals to be killers. And that'll make them better people.
In the guise of reforming them.
Yeah.
We'll put them out in the jungle and
Train young
turn them into
criminals
badasses.
to be better at
Crime.
at activities that could be used for crime, yes.
Yeah.
But because they've learned them, they'll be better people.
Yeah. We get kind of like a sort of a montagey thing in the beginning of
Crime.
like them doing their crimes and then going to jail and then kind of getting like their little dossier jacket, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
thing.
it's like, we complained a couple weeks ago with Manklers that their introduction to all of the Manklers was like, it was just as dull as it could possibly be. And this is kind of the exact opposite of that.
Right. Yep.
In that it's a very stylized, fun thing.
Yeah, and it should be noted right away, just through this opening montage of getting to know these kids, this movie is 80s as fuck.
Yep.
Yes,
Like,
it is.
It might be one of the most 80s movies I've ever seen. I mean, I understand that there are more specific 80s things like Purple Rain and things like that where you can have little eras, but I mean, this one kind of like, it just kind of gets it all.
It's 1986, which is kind of, when you think about it, it's kind of peak 80s. Like, whenever people think, oh, 80s, it's generally speaking that kind of early Miami Vice,
Yeah.
1986 type thing, which, Michael Mann was a producer on it, so
Yep.
they're using the Miami Vice tie very heavily. And
Yeah, I mean, this is very much Miami Vice, not universe, but bubble of time and just appearance and everything. It's 80s Miami Vice, but motion picture.
yeah.
So
But yeah, they've introduced all our main characters with their crimes, and then their rap sheet for each of them.
Right, including one of them. One gets kind of like a double crime. Like most of them is just like, hey, I did a thing and then I got arrested. This one kid, just nicknamed Crazy, blows up a school, perhaps? I don't know. He blows up some large building. There's a point where he's just like sitting on a bike and like has some remote triggered explosives and a thing happens and he's like, cool, riding my bike away. Then goes home and his shithead dad is beating on his mom and he walks in, pulls a gun on him, and dad's like, I dare you, and he's like, okay, bang bang, and then just sits outside and gets arrested.
And waits for the cops to come.
Yeah, and I mean, there's our yuppie wannabe criminal kid is like doing a drug deal.
Yeah, wearing. This guy has two jackets, and both of them are 80s as fuck.
Yep.
They're both like the super long. They should be rolled up at the sleeves.
They're David Byrne jackets, basically. I mean,
Yeah.
they're real long and shoulder pads out to fucking like orbit. Just, I mean, they're
Looks
just
like a Dragon
way
Ball
out
Z
there. Yeah.
shoulder pad level, just about.
But yeah, he rolls up in a Porsche 911 with Lauren Holly, who's in this movie. Good
BMFcast
choice.
alum.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Turbulence.
Turbulence.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of that guys in this movie, so we will try to cover them all.
Yep.
But she drops him off. She puts some coke on her hand. He does the coke off her hand. She licks the rest off. They kiss, and he goes in to finish his deal, which is a suitcase full of money. Plops it on the counter. They open it up, and he's like, they show him shaking his head, and then they show the cop just flashing the badge at him.
He flops his badge over the top of the briefcase. It's just kind of like, here you go.
Yeah, and this character's name is Ruben, and he just looks and he's like, ugh.
Yep.
He seems more annoyed than busted. And Lauren Hawley figures it out and takes off, gets away, and so he's arrested. They also show Dorsey escaping from prison, actually getting over the razor wire fence on his own, and then getting beat down by
because he basically fell off,
guards with
twisted his
sticks.
ankle, whatever, and they were just like beat the fuck out of this kid. And then it's just like, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes of them just kind of like, well, they're in a juvenile detention facility.
Well, I got to say, like the Moss and Carlos stuff in the beginning when they're facing off is a nice long tracking shot down a street where we're like, what universe is this in?
Oh yeah.
I mean, because when it's like that's the first one that drops us in, kind of,
right,
and
I forgot about that one.
they're just it's going down a street, and we're just like, man, this looks like Detroit. Everyone's fighting, and there's cars on fire, but like ready to
Going
kill
after
each other.
Yeah, it seemed like almost this was going to be some sort of post-apocalyptic thing, the way it starts.
Yeah, that first
just
scene.
The crime riot in the streets, I was just like, what is this? What's happening?
Yeah. But yeah, they're the first ones you see, and then it's JL, who's Hedwig, and a couple other, and then the other ones. And eventually Ruben is the last one after the drug deal with Lauren Hawley. And then they're there's just some time where they're bumming around in prison.
Mixing up the two guys.
Are we?
Yeah.
Ruben is the
craziest
Puerto Rican guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carlos is the cocaine dude.
Because Carlos and Lauren Hawley are a couple in this movie. They were also married.
Oh, really?
In real life, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if they drove around in a convertible doing cocaine together in real life.
Well, it was
1986.
You're saying the Carlos guy and her were married, right?
Yeah.
Not Ruben.
No.
Yeah.
Ruben was the one she was
I
paired up with in the movie.
No, Carlos is the guy.
I got him backwards.
He mixed him up.
Oh,
which
okay.
mixed you up.
Ruben is the guy who's
right.
always fighting the other guy, Moss.
Okay, right.
He has
yes,
a chain that says
does.
Ruben.
Yes, yes.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, yeah. You've refreshed my memory correctly.
Well, the thing is that Ruben I recognized, and he was in Leviathan, which I remember from.
Yep. BMFcast own Ruben.
And he was also in Invasion USA. I mean, that guy has been in several of our movies. But
and then he died, like right after
that. Yeah, but
and at this age looks a lot like Remy Malek. Like it was kind of freaking with me in certain scenes. It was like, oh yeah, okay, not him, still not him.
But IMDb doesn't have a picture of him, so it's hard to.
But they're all bumming around prison, and they're kind of like they're showing that they all have kind of like lives, and prison's really like
it's very lax.
It's almost a fun place.
Yeah.
It seems
fashion is big in prison.
But
oh yeah,
but the Bob Dylan theme song is playing over all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
where
that's not a joke either.
No. Singing about the band of the hand.
Yeah, the credit lists like Bob Dylan and the Heartbreakers.
Yes,
so
it's Bob Dylan and the Heartbreakers.
It is Tom Petty's band,
but it was produced and it was produced by Tom Petty. So.
Tom Petty just was not in the movie that day.
That breaks my brain because they're the same person almost.
Yeah,
well, this is the genesis of the Wilburys.
I mean, that's like having Christian Slater and Jack Nicholson in the same movie. Like that would mess with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, they all have established lives in prison, so it's shown that a lot of time has passed since they've been busted, and one by one they're grabbed.
Yeah,
just kind of like it's either by guards or whoever, and they're so they're all thrown in the same room together. Mm-hmm. To which immediately Ruben and Moss are ready to kill each other once again.
Yes.
Which they just will resume anytime they're within like 3 feet of each other. And they're taken out of prison with Ruben, like, literally on Moss's back punching him.
They're also given back their 80s as fuck clothes that they were wearing as opposed to their 80s as fuck jail uniforms that they were wearing.
It's like, here's your 80s as fuck outfit that you had when you walked in the door. The one that you have on now belongs to us. That stays here. But yeah, they are taken out and then put on airboats. Yep.
And we get some nice shots of the Everglades.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that they maintain a shot for a while where this airboat is not meant for this many people, so they're all just kind of sitting up at the front where you would normally not want to ride on an airboat.
Yeah.
Just getting pelted by the sea oats and grass.
Yeah, they are driving through areas where there are no paths. They are just getting pelted with the sawgrass and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, and they get there and they're all like, "What the fuck's going on, man?
Yeah, what is this?
Yeah, what are you doing?" And they're like, "Get out." And they're in waist deep Everglades.
Yeah.
I mean, I give the production credit.
They went to the Everglades.
They went to the Everglades and fucking tossed these guys into the Everglades.
Moss, they literally
in
tossed.
Moss's case.
The others, like, so Carlos, like, he's like, man, don't mess up my suit. And Carlos just gingerly kind of just steps off of the boat to stay as dry as possible. But Moss is just like, no, fuck this. What is this? And you just see a shot of him being thrown into the water.
Yeah, he gets full on DJ Jazzy Jeff out that boat.
Yes.
Yeah, because JL is the first one to hop off, Hedwig. And at this point, he has not said a word to anyone.
Nope.
And they make a point that he does not speak to anybody.
No, he does not.
Well, he gets off the boat and is like perched on a log, croaking like the frogs around him, and they're just like, "What the fuck is up with this guy?"
Well, call him crazy for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, the deputies on the airboat are just like, well, see ya.
Bye.
And they just go away. And these guys are like, wait, hold on. What the hell's happening here?
And most of them go to the shore. Some of them are still waiting around the water for some reason.
They're just all bickering with each other, I mean, which is the first third of the movie is a lot of just bickering at each other.
Well,
but
doesn't it start another fist fight? And then
I'm sure it does.
like
Oh, yeah.
out of the clearing comes Stephen Lang.
Yeah.
Like dressed all in black, headband, hair slicked back.
But he doesn't come at anybody. He just kind of walks through.
Yeah, well, he walks through because they're fighting in the water, and he just goes over, like, breaks them up, and just immediately walks back to the shore. And, like, almost mid-stride, they're like, hey, who are you? What are you doing? Where are we? Where's the thing? And he's like, everything you need's right there. And there's, like, a bundle of stuff hanging in the trees. And he's like,
It's like a boot
in the banyan tree.
and
He's
a
like,
tarp.
Come with me. And then he just disappears off into the brush, and they're like, what?
I'm not following that guy.
I'm not going in there, man.
And so they basically spend the first night on the beach,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and the next day, I guess he comes up and they're like, "We're hungry and stuff," and he's like, "I think he throws some rope or like some string at them."
He's
And
like,
it's like,
"Here's
"There's
your
what you
food."
need to eat."
Yeah,
They're
and-
like,
well, he tells them you need to clear this area. And they're like, we ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
Who are you? What's the deal here?
And he kind of opens up a little bit and is like, "Yeah, I'm going to teach you to survive." And
Here's the thing, though. Like, he kind of gives them throughout the movie a little bit of information. Does he ever identify himself as a cop?
No, he does not.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Nope.
He's always very vague, and I just figured like maybe there was a scene we never saw where he explains everything is going on. But he just appears like this guy who lives in the Everglades, and he's just like,
I think
I'm
he
gonna
is.
teach you how
I'm
to.
pretty sure he's like some sort of wannabe social worker. Like, I mean, that's if he was a cop, I don't think he'd have to appear and like go through the whole thing that they talk about later, where he has to request the money or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I think I got this was like some sort of like extreme program for
who
extremely
knows?
troubled teens.
I know that Pan Flute probably summons him.
Sure.
He does seem like that kind of character.
Yeah.
But yeah, he, they're like, nah, fuck this. We're not doing any of that. And he's like, all right, well, good luck then.
Yeah.
And he's already got like his little lean-to set up with his bed on it and stuff. And cut to rain just pouring down on all of them, like huddled together, shivering.
Yeah.
And Moss decides he's gonna
Murder him.
Yeah. The one guy who knows what the fuck he's doing in the middle of the Everglades.
Well, he's going to threaten him with the knife. He's not going to murder him.
Okay, yeah.
It looks like he's about to walk over and murder him, but he
Yeah.
does the like, put the knife to the throat,
Yeah.
quote unquote, sneaks up to him.
You're coming with me.
He's like, "You're going to take us back to civilization or whatever," and Stephen Lang's like, "Nah."
nah, and just
Flips him over, grabs the knife, sticks it in his cot, and then goes back to sleep.
Yeah. And everyone else is like, oh.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what they expected.
yeah.
You know, like this is the dude who lives in the fucking Everglades.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's the thing, is that no one's demanding information. He's not giving any information, but even in this dynamic, he's the only one who knows anything, and they're all just like, "Fuck you, guy." You know, we're gonna do what we
we're
want.
at-risk youth.
Yeah, it's
Not even at risk because we've already been arrested and are doing time.
Yes.
As adults.
we are risk.
Yeah. We've already risked
We've
and we've
arrived
lost.
at risk.
Yeah, but like he tosses some fish on the ground, and they're like, at one point, because they're like, "We're hungry." He tosses some, freshly pulled out of the water fish.
Yeah.
He tosses them on the ground. They're
"Gut and
flapping.
clean it."
He's like, "Gut and clean." And they're like, "What? No." And one guy's like, "I don't even like fish."
I don't like fish.
And like the very next scene, they're just like, "Nom nom nom fish. I haven't eaten for 2 days.
Yeah.
Fish is delicious now."
Yeah, and at one point he just like kind of, I think he just breaks up another fight on his way out, and he's just like going to the store,
Yeah, they're like, where are you going?
Yeah, and then
to the
like,
store, and he just like
he just
out,
vanishes.
Stores
like,
out there.
Just one fell swoop, just through the scene, and he's gone. And then cut to like at night, they're all huddled around a fire, eating out of cans, but they're just eating what appears to be like garbage stew.
Oh, they're eating out of cups. Yeah,
Yeah,
They're
but-
not eating out of like cans from the grocery
No,
store.
no, but I'm just they're silver containers and they're just scooping out whatever. But it just looks like just pure garbage, just whatever they're newspaper and swamp water. Until they're
Get
told
yourself
what,
some newspaper, boil up some swamp water, got yourself a stew, baby.
and they make a mistake of just being like, "Hey, what's in this?" And
Like
they just
ramps
never ask that.
and
Yeah, he's like cattails, like
sea onions.
and then eventually he's like snails.
Well, yeah, he's like,
snails.
what are these chewy, crunchy things?
Yeah.
And he's like, those are snails.
Yeah, and one of the just one
Ruben
guy just,
runs off and
he
just,
just
"Wah."
And then so I think I think it's Moss who basically goes like, "Are snails like worms that live in a shell?"
yeah.
Aren't snails? Those
Yeah.
things, worms that live in a shell.
And Carlos is like, "Man, you could get like $100 a plate for this at the fancy places." And Stephen Lang's just looking at him like,
Yeah. Yeah, but one of them complains that right after that he's like, "Well, what the fuck are you gonna make us eat next?
"Yeah,
You gonna put turtle shit and alligator dicks in it?"
dicks." Stephen Lang's just looking at him like,
Yep.
maybe.
Yeah, and then the thing about it too is JL is sitting right next to him and he's just wolfing it down. And of course Stephen Lang goes, "Anybody want any more?" And he's like,
Yeah,
holds his cup out, like, "Give me more."
yeah, he's on board.
Yeah.
This just kind. Okay, so
So I think like next morning they wake up and who's big hair guy? What's his name?
big hair guy.
Yeah, the one I said that looks like an amalgamation of all the outsiders.
Oh,
That guy, because I think that guy was like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Yeah, Dorsey.
Dorsey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they wake up the next morning and Dorsey's gone, and
yeah, he's run off.
Yeah, they show him sneak out in the middle of the night.
yes, he's
But he's gone and Joe is gone as well.
yeah,
And Dorsey is doing like the guy who escaped prison and is in water now run.
Right.
right.
Where
Which
it's
is
like
just
splash everywhere
just
and
make fucking noise everywhere, and Stephen Lang is just acting like he's hunting him, even though he doesn't need to hunt him. He can just follow the loud splashing sound.
Right. But about that time, I don't know why it's like his criminal sense kicked in, and he was like, "Oh, I'm being followed," so
Yeah.
he takes off faster, trips, and falls like right in front of a rattlesnake.
Yes.
And just is trying to do the Indiana Jones like back away thing. Doesn't work so well because
No.
he gets struck.
Yes.
And Stephen Lang comes up, and if this is I think it's a prop snake, but I mean it looks like a damn realistic snake. But like he
No, I think they killed a snake.
Yeah.
there was a real snake somewhere on that set.
They started
Yes.
gutting a real fish as well.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah.
sure.
So yeah, there.
But I mean,
it's-
like, that means that a actual snake, they were like, "Hey, actor, let this snake be on you," and other actor pick this up and hack it with a machete. I'm just saying, like,
It may have been a recently deceased snake.
I'm just saying,
Sure, yeah.
when
it twitches after it's had its head cut off.
when Stephen
Okay.
Lang runs up to him and cuts that snake, and they throw a snake head over onto some leaves, that snake head is not a prop snake head. That's
Okay.
like a still twitching alive thing.
all right. Anyway, he gets the snake off
Yeah.
of him, but the kid's been bit, so
They bring him back.
we don't really see it. But apparently, he administers some sort of
He does.
anti-venom.
2
thing.
doses. His chances are 50-50.
Yeah, he like throws him
Yeah,
on
he
the
had
bed.
anti-venom on him.
Sure.
In the fucking
He
swamp.
probably made it out of whatever,
Out of
seaweed and spit.
Goat piss and
Snot.
Yeah, snuts. That's what I meant. Not
alligator
spit,
dicks.
But yeah, so he just throws him in the cot. He's like, yeah, he's got a 50-50 chance. He was
Yeah.
struck twice. And
Yeah.
like 3 seconds later, he wakes up and, is convulsing and can't breathe. The venom is doing its
Well,
thing.
Crazy has been planted on his chest, just like cuddling him, listening to his heartbeat, and then he, starts convulsing and waking up. And that's Stephen Lang just goes over to him, and they're like, "Flip him over, wrap up his legs, do all the things." And
They hold his limbs down because he starts flailing.
I
and
know,
then he
I'm just saying.
pulls his tongue so he doesn't choke on
Yeah.
it. I mean, to be fair, it's semi-realistic
Sure. Yeah.
reactions to a snake bite.
But he's fine.
Yeah.
yeah.
And at some point between these day-night cycle sequences, there's a scene where Lauren Holly goes to the detention center to see her boyfriend, and goes to the guard and is like, "Hey, where's Carlos?"
Carlos.
And the guard is just like, "Ain't no Carlos here."
No record of that guy.
And she's like, wait, I just saw him yesterday. And she should also say, you didn't look at anything either. But that leads to a later scene to where she goes to visit James Remar.
Yeah, who is the drug boss, who
Yes.
is Carlos's boss.
Yes. And he is chilling on this giant half-moon couch with a plate of cocaine.
Uh-huh.
Just a fucking plate of cocaine.
It's a platter of cocaine, really. It's
I'm
not
pretty
like
sure that was
Scarface
just James
or
Remar's at that
Maybe.
point.
But he is super chilled for a guy with half a plate of cocaine is already gone.
and 9 TVs.
Yeah, which he's just watching like NASA launches.
He's watching one like Saturn V rocket launch or something,
Right.
just over and over again.
It's just a bunch of guards hanging out everywhere, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, "Hey, have you heard from Carlos?"
yeah,
And he's like, "No."
Nah.
She's like, "Well, are you gonna be able to find him?" He's like, "Yeah, I can do that for
maybe.
you."
yeah, we probably
Sure. Why not?
And he's like, "How old are you?" She's like, 16, and she's like, "That's good."
Yeah.
Well, he says that's good as he's doing some more coke with
Uh-huh.
a gold-plated razor blade.
Yes,
I want to be like
as you do.
I'd like to see the prop department. Like, hey guys, we need a gold-plated razor blade for cocaine, and they're like,
Oh, we're in Miami.
you can just have mine.
Yeah, seriously. It's like I keep it in my wallet. Never leave home without it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then he's very matter-of-factly is like, cool, I just did some cocaine off a gold-plated razor blade. He's like, why don't you go ahead and go upstairs and go in the bedroom, take all your clothes off. I got a few more things to do. And she's like...
Yeah, and I'll be up shortly.
I've got
It's
this other plate.
It's like, she's kind of like... She just sits there for a while.
Yeah.
It's like, doesn't say anything, and he's like... Repeats himself, and
upstairs.
he's like, yeah, and she's like...
Go upstairs, take off your fucking clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she, like,
And I mean, the scene, like, she goes upstairs and is like sitting in this weird bedroom that has a crucifix and what looks like a cheese grater on adjacent walls.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, like, she's like, I wonder. Oh, I think she like leans against the wall, which she realizes is like a hidden door thing. Opens it up, and it's like this glowing blue voodoo room. I don't know how to. I just matter of factly said that, but
Yeah.
it's glowing blue. It's a voodoo room.
Yeah, the voodoo. Think of anything that you would associate with like voodoo weirdness, and it's in this little closet.
Yeah, like
You know,
including
there's
you
like
know,
a skull with something stuck through the eye.
there's a half
and a snake. and-
sacrificed chicken. There's burning candles, and she's just like, "All right, cool. I'll sit down
yeah,
on the bed
she's
now and take
staring
my
at
clothes
it.
off."
Yeah, and
And it
Single
cuts away,
tear
but
comes
it's
down.
meanwhile, 80s music has been playing. The
it's a
entire
single
time,
tear,
some
but it looks like it's
license.
actually hand animated.
It does look like it's animated. It
Yeah.
looks really weird.
Yeah, it was
because it's like kind of dangling out in front of her. Oddly, it's like what
they call in Don Bluth just to like
what an out of work Disney animator came in and said, "I can animate a tear for you."
you want a tear? I can
We
get
can
you.
rotoscope you a tear easily.
But
And then it just cuts away, and that scene is like, that done. It's done.
It thankfully ends, even though it needed to end earlier
or not exist.
It's such a. I mean, it's kind of necessary to the story, but not really. But the weird thing about it is the song is like this kind of like 80s like synth romantic jam,
Yeah,
like
kind of ballad thing.
Yeah, and it's like this is not the appropriate music for what she's probably going through right now. If it was playing in the room, maybe I could understand it, but this is just the movie playing a song, and you're
Yeah.
like, but whatever, it's over, and we get out of there before things.
But essentially, he's enthralled her. I don't know, like what the right word is.
She's his
laid
now.
claim
Yeah.
and given her the drugs
Yes.
and probably all of James Remar's diseases.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, but like we don't see them as a combo for a while. Like it's just like
No, this was just kind of
that
a
scene,
reminder.
like
Yeah,
in
that
sort
she's
of
still in the
awkwardly,
movie.
yeah. And then it's like straight back to the swamp.
At this point, I'm starting to wonder what the fuck the point of this movie is.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, they are progressing. Like they are not fighting as much anymore. They're kind of like having fun.
When I believe,
there's-
like when it cuts back to them after that, enough time has passed to where they are pretty like they're a lot more Lord of the Flies ish than they were
Oh,
before.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
They've
he
cut all the-
says like they hear a boar somewhere nearby.
Yeah.
and then Stephen Lang's like, "Hey, only the crazy people hunt boar,
Right.
But also the ones who really want to eat good."
Yeah.
and
'Cause
and they're all immediately like, "Get our spears, let's do this."
Yeah.
And the thing is like they have this prolonged, tracking this boar scene to which it eventually gets fucked up because someone like slips on a log or whatever and makes a big noise. And
Well, what happens is like they're going after it, and then it comes at them.
well, yeah, because of the noise. And I was just gonna say, like, it's not a scary looking boar at all.
It
Like,
looks
I
like
mean,
pig.
I know their wild boars are mean and they can bite and all that stuff, but like,
It's a baby boar.
yeah, they didn't even like bother to get one with like mean looking tusks or
Yeah,
anything.
no.
It's just like,
I think that was probably a smart move. They were doing too much cocaine to handle
sure,
a boar.
sure. I just say, like, it came out. I was like, that's it. Just
Yeah.
stab it.
But man, they all run away from this thing like, oh dear God, this boar will kill us all.
Yeah.
And they all hide in trees for a while.
Well, yeah, as it runs around underneath him, and Stephen Lang just stabs it once, and it's
Yeah.
like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. And they're like, well, let's go follow him then.
It sure is bleeding a lot.
Yeah.
If only we had a simile.
So, yeah, they murder that thing and then just cut to them eating ribs.
Well, yeah, they don't show you murder it.
No.
Show them murdering it, but they do show like he's about to go for it, and then they all kind of step in front of him and are like, "All right, we're going to do this."
Yeah. And there's a shot of him just being like,
Yep.
my
Yeah,
boys are
they get
hunters
it.
now.
My murder children.
I have.
Your training is complete.
this totally weird ass police program I invented works. My boy army will be hunting boar everywhere now.
Sorry.
I'm gonna go invent the paleo garbage diet.
He goes up in front of the board and is like, sorry, I didn't mean to bore you, but this program totally worked. But yeah, I mean, essentially his knowing look is like, all right, you're ready.
Yeah.
Because they're all kind of like hanging out, eating, like they are stuffing themselves with the the pig parts, like ribs and everything.
Pig parts.
And,
Big parts, alligator
I
dicks.
mean, like this whole thing, I mean, like the pig is now just hunks of bone. And yeah, like they've consumed a lot
They're
of pig.
saying they need barbecue sauce.
And Stephen
It'd be
Lang,
perfect.
basically like, time for final exams, walks over, throws out a map, throws out a compass, is like, there's a point marked on there. If you can find me, you'll probably survive. Bye.
Yeah.
Just walks off.
And just whoosh, he's gone. And they're like, wait, what? Okay. Let's do this. So suddenly they've got a canoe. And
I think they showed them in.
Yeah, they were in the
canoe
boat
stuff,
earlier.
They had been in the
Okay,
canoes
had they-
earlier.
all right.
Yeah.
So they're they're going somewhere, and who I guess it's Dorsey who's been in charge of the map. They're like, hey, okay, where do we go from here? And they've obviously been at this for like 6 hours, a long time. And Dorsey's just like, I can't read this.
Yeah.
Well, they're like,
Because Ruben's like, you
he
can't
said-
fucking read.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't read. And
I never learned to read.
And this, like, it lingers on this forever. It's like no one else says, like, well, I can read. Give me the fucking map. They act like, oh, God, we're going to die out here because you can't read this map.
Yeah, they definitely start reverting back into Goonies mode.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, we got to just bicker.
Yeah.
We're together on an adventure and we got to bicker.
Yeah. And eventually they are no longer in the canoe. They are just in, waist-deep swamp.
Yeah, like with like the green film on top.
Yeah.
Nasty swamp.
And Moss and Ruben get into it again, and Moss is just like, fuck this.
Moss is like, just give me the compass.
Yeah.
And he's like, no,
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Right.
And yeah, so he's like, all right, then I'm just going to murder you. I'm
Yep.
going to drown you.
Yep. He punches him in the stomach, I don't know, 25 times in a row, and then is just like, now I will drown you.
Yeah.
And this is when Crazy starts to formulate words.
Yeah.
At first, he's like, no.
Stop.
And then he's like, no. And then they're all like, what?
Whoa. He
And-
said words.
Like, Ruben slowly pops up out from under the water that he's been drowning under. Like, what was that noise? And then, man, Crazy is just like barking orders at all of them. And
Well,
they're all just
yeah,
like,
and he's like, find the fucking compass. You
Yeah.
just lost it underwater.
Yeah.
Find it.
assholes. And they're like, whoa.
Right. Well, I mean, but his breaking his silence doesn't quite have the effect that it should in the movie because
No.
you haven't heard him speak, and his first bits of dialogue are in like "Stop it" voice. I mean,
yeah. Well,
he doesn't.
he doesn't speak, so he doesn't really have the the
doesn't have any
sound right
practice,
yet.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
didn't
just
warm up the
his
pipe.
first several lines. It's like, oh, that's why you weren't speaking. And then
Yeah.
he talks like a normal guy the rest of the movie. But that first time, he's just like, "Stop it, y'all,
Yeah.
stop."
He's like Squeaky Guy from
Yeah.
Fright Night when it first starts.
right.
You're like, hey, man, come on.
Yeah, but then there's just a lot of them hacking through sawgrass.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean they eventually finally they hear something. They go, wait a minute, do you hear that? Mm-hmm. And they wander into a party.
Oh,
Well,
wait,
you're,
whoa,
you're
whoa,
missing
hold on,
you're
hold
missing
on.
character development
Hold-
here.
oh, hold
very
on.
important piece of character development.
Because on this journey, they are first confronted by a bear.
Oh, that's right.
And so they are chased up into trees where they have to spend the night because of the
Yeah.
bear.
Yeah.
Yep.
They come down, and a few paces later are confronted by a cougar.
That's right.
A mountain lion, not an older.
Right? No, not a sexy lady.
Yeah.
An actual cougar. Luckily, that thing is just like, oh hey, and then it fucks off the other direction.
You want to come back to my hotel?
Hey,
That thing also like
you're bad boys, aren't you?
You like wine coolers?
I bet you know how to survive.
Ooh,
I got
show
a
me your
Seagram's.
tattoos. I have 12.
but
Our late 90s version of a cougar, everybody.
but like for real, that mountain lion is like stressed the fuck out. Whatever
Yes.
was going on there,
Yeah.
that thing is like mouth open, panting furiously.
Yep.
Like probably actually was a danger to the crew at that
Probably,
point.
yeah.
Whatever the hell they were doing. Like I fear for all the animal handlers on this movie because it's like I don't quite understand what the fuck everyone was doing with these things.
Cocaine!
Yeah, likely.
Yes. It's
Like these animals were probably like had a good few whiffs of it in
like
the
shit,
air.
that plate of cocaine that James Remar had.
Yeah.
The cougar got into it.
We're not really getting the performance out of the cougar that we want. Do you think maybe we should just give the cougar some cocaine? I mean, a cougar can handle cocaine, like 3, 4, 5 bumps, maybe a plate full of cocaine. That'll be fine. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. It's cool. It's cool. I know what I'm doing. I'm a director. I know this. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
We coked up the bear and everyone survived.
Yeah.
So come on.
They shot this in Florida in the 80s. They probably just called Joe Exotic and like got him to bring a cougar over.
It was called Joe Exotic's Cocaine Cougars back then.
But yeah, so they've been through some shit on this
Okay,
journey.
Yes. All right. Fine. They bonded over coke animals.
Yeah, and there was one bit.
Co-cougars, I call
There's
them.
one bit where Moss is going through the sawgrass and just falls down. He's like, I can't fucking do this anymore. And Ruben goes over to him, and this is the movie's Fast Five moment where he kind of picks him up by the arm and is like, "Come on,
Yeah.
man, let's do this together."
Yeah. There's only one set of footprints now.
Yeah.
'Cause I am carrying you.
And then pretty much at that point, they are friends now.
Yeah.
So they have bonded, and they are just traipsing through the Everglades, and then, like you said, they just fucking arrive at a party. Native
Yeah.
American tribe is having a shindig.
Yeah. Which we haven't mentioned. Stephen Lang is supposed to be Native American,
Yeah,
but
everyone.
he's Stephen Lang.
I don't
So
know if- I don't
welcome
know-
back to the 80s.
Yeah, yes, he has jet black hair, so therefore he's an ethnic.
and bronzer.
yeah.
So,
I'm pretty sure they've done this with James Remar in the past, right?
I'm sure they have.
I seem to remember.
If not, they've done it with William Forsythe, who's almost James Remar.
Sure.
So, but yeah, so they just wander into this party and are immediately just like food.
Yeah.
And they just
Shoving people out of the way.
cut in line while these poor people are just like,
Yeah.
okay, they wander into this party where they are just stripped down to basically like diapers.
Loincloths.
Yeah, they are just wearing like basically nothing, and because it's the 80s, like even no matter how long they've been out in the woods, no one's had to shave, and like no one has body hair. They are just like dirty, glistening gods with like spears and bows coming out of the woods into this fairly decent party. I mean, they have a band.
Yeah. They do.
And everyone's just like, oh, hey, what's up, guys?
Well, they're generally a welcoming people. I mean, historically speaking.
Yes, to their fault.
Yeah.
But, and so they're just shoving food in their mouth, and they look over, and it's like, oh, hey, Joe's
There's
over there.
Joe.
And he's just sitting on a truck, or a Jeep.
And he just kind of gives them a little like,
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, hey, you made it.
Yeah. And they walk over to him, it's like, hey, Joe, while they're eating food. And he's like, well, you guys are the only guys who survived this test. You're ready.
Yeah.
Well, they said something like, what is the deal? How many other people have you done this to? And he's like, you're the first.
the first.
And they're like, we're the first. We're badasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the best. Woo! So, whatever.
Yeah. And then they're like, all right, so we're good. We're free.
He's like,
Our sentence is over, right? And he's like,
nope,
no.
you're coming with me.
We're going to Miami.
Going to Miami. Cut to Miami. It is.
Yeah, and it's old shitty Miami.
Yeah, it's like 5 a.m, and they are all crammed into this yellow and blue camouflage Jeep. Just driving down the highway, and the best they can do for scenery is like a skyscraper that's under construction and a couple of overpasses.
Yeah.
That's the best the second unit could do. And then
And it's all grainy as hell.
oh, it's
like
it's so dark
I
outside.
will say before this, the transfer has looked really nice
Yeah.
on this. Like it's a really sharp looking Blu-ray up to that point, and then they get to this, and it's like grainy city. So either that footage was lost, or that footage was never good in the first place.
I think they filmed it so early or so late. They had so little light that it
Yeah.
was just like do whatever you can to make the scene visible.
Yep. But everywhere they drive around, people are glaring at them from the street.
Well, yeah, it's a silly looking Jeep. They have also all showered and put new 80s outfits on. I guess they had them at the party ready for them.
It looked like a place where you could shower. It was a homestead.
Yeah.
Well, it was all like lightly beaded / embroidered sort of Native American style stuff.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't like,
Yeah.
what you typically think of, but it was like, button up shirts with beads on the shoulders and all that. It's kind of
But he's basically like, all right, we're going to our place, and pulls up to this.
He's like, I got a house.
Yeah, I got a house, and pulls up to this place, and I mean,
It is a boarded up shithole.
It's a boarded up crack house.
Yeah.
yes, I mean that's what it is now. But architecturally speaking, it is an '80s badass Miami place.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
this
it's
place
like-
was probably a cool place at some point.
right. I'm just saying, like you look at it, it's like, oh shit, that's Miami. Yeah, but yes, it's boarded up. They crowbar their way in, and in the front room, there's crackheads like right there.
They scurry away.
Yeah, they scurry like because their lights came on. They
Yeah,
scurry
right.
up, and then they go upstairs and like it's weird because this is a fairly large building, but there is another room where basically an entire Haitian family, extended family included, is all living in this one room.
It's like 15 people.
Yeah,
Living in
When
this
it's
one
like,
room.
There's other rooms.
Yeah.
here.
Like those
Those other
crackheads were
rooms
just
are
taking up.
I guess they were just like, we'll stay in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crackheads can have
We
the rest of
can
the
fight
place.
anyone off.
there are
Yeah,
enough
just
of us
fall in
to
this
bar
room.
the door to keep the crackheads out,
But like they're all kind of standing there, like
which is very important.
they seem
Yeah.
angry at the crackheads, and they're kind of like, what do we do? There's a baby here and
Yeah.
stuff, and
Like Ruben goes upstairs and like finds a chicken and throws it. It's like, look what I found.
but yeah, I mean, this is kind of like a weird point because Stephen Lang gets very Mr. Miyagi here because it's just like, well, what do you want to do? Do you have the balls to kick them out of here or whatever? And
Because they're all just like, fuck this, man. No, I'm not staying here.
yeah, they're
with
like, there's crackheads, and I mean, this movie's peppered with various really bizarre forms of racism. Like, it's just kind of like, we have a beef with them because, I don't know, reasons. Like, it's never, I mean, no racism makes sense, but I mean, it's just like, these people just literally like, oh, they're that, so boo.
Yeah.
And so, like, they're like, Haitians, crackheads,
Yeah.
and he's just like, he gets all, Stephen Lang gets all calm and it's just like, we must paint the fence and paint the house. And
Yeah. But this is where his thing that we said for the rest of the movie comes up. Like you said,
Right.
he's like, do you have the balls to kick them out of this place? And so we said that.
And they
800 times.
really don't, because I mean, like they're
like, no, they can stay.
yeah, they 80s montage start fixing up the house, but like the whole family's upstairs living there too.
Yeah.
So
They're like, they can stay upstairs. We'll fix up this downstairs bar, which is fine. This place is fucking huge.
but like they're
It's like an
just
apartment block.
they're just starting to fix this place up, and I think they're outside like just like kind of looking the place over and starting to clean up some of the garbage. And we got our first like kind of roll by of this pimp ass like it's a convertible Mercedes, right?
Yeah, well, what's happened? They're outside just starting the paint job.
Right.
That's the basics of painting this place have started. And for some reason across the street, there are just we assume they are just locals yelling at the film production. But
Probably.
it's like a group of 20 people just shouting at them like, hey, how dare you paint this house?
Yeah, why are you trying to beautify this
Yeah.
terrible neighborhood that we live in?
And that's when the car rolls up.
Right. And like I said, I don't know what it is. It's a pimp ass convertible car, all white, and in the back is as credited in the movie Larry Fishburne.
Larry Fishburne.
Let's go with Lawrence now.
Sure. Playing Cream.
And man, his hair is magnificent. Like he's got the high top fade kind of thing going on.
with the lines.
Yeah, but
buzzed into the side.
Yeah, he's kind of but they go like all the way around the back, not just the
Yeah.
side. They come all the way, and yeah, he's apparently runs this neighborhood.
Yeah. And he says like 2 sentences. He's just like, you guys think you can clean up this neighborhood, huh? Bye. And this driver just takes off. You're like, hey, come back, Larry Fishburne. What's happening?
Was that Cowboy Curtis?
So yeah, we're introduced to him, and we're just like, okay, well, hopefully he comes back later. But after that, basically, like Ruben's gang and Moss's gang have shown up, and they're all just kind of pushing and shoving each other outside this house. To which Ruben and Moss pull this con, which is basically like, oh, you guys think you could paint this house better? Let's see if you guys can actually do a better job. And then cut to like all the gang members like painting the house.
They totally got Tom Sawyer. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, while they're just sitting back, it's like, yeah, you missed a spot.
And now, like, just through sheer ability of their getting along in their little group, these two gangs are now getting along.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because they're painting together.
You know.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like Stephen Lang has gone to the police department and is having like a meeting with, I guess, a captain or...
Yeah, that means so little in this movie. Like,
yeah, but he just... he goes in and it's just like, so, my guys are all working together. I belittled them in the woods and then turned them into a team, and they're real good now. So how about that funding? And guy's like, yeah, I don't know about these things.
He's like, yeah, your other programs haven't really worked. You got
everyone died,
murdered.
remember?
Yeah.
These guys are probably going to... They're going to fucking kill everybody too,
It's like, whatever. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah. He's just basically like, look, if they do anything, all of them are going back to jail. So just let it happen. Just let
Why
them commit
waste
their
your time?
crime and just we'll end this, okay? Because when he's on his way back, that's when a gang is starting to menace one of the Haitians who's trying to bring groceries home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although it's weird because they seem more interested in the grocery cart than her. They're menacing the fuck out of the grocery cart. Her, they're just kind of like pushing around a little bit. To which all of the kids come running out to help.
Yeah, it's very much presented like whenever the crackheads basically are doing anything, they're just kind of like, they're not focused as far as like, there's not one thing that they're doing, like not one person. They're just like all just they like the director said, just be bad.
Yeah.
Misbehave, or
Yes.
something. Like break the law somehow.
They are crackheads, though.
Yeah, but
And crackheads aren't really good at focusing on anything but crack.
okay, but
Yeah, we established this. I mean, I do believe that Chuck was like, I want to try crack. And that will be the only thing that you try or think about ever again.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
but-
that's true.
but the thing is, there's like 20 of them.
Yeah, there's a
So
lot.
it's almost like they're just pushing ahead to be like, I'm the guy who's on camera now.
Yeah, it's strange, but
Yeah.
so they all come running out to help because they hear this lady screaming
Well,
bloody murder.
Is it Carlos or Dorsey? Carlos or Dorsey has a quote-unquote shovel.
Oh,
which
it's
is-
Carlos.
Carlos.
Carlos,
It looks like a stingray on a stick because
Yeah,
it's wobbling
it's a
everywhere.
floppy shovel.
And he runs up and just
Oh, he tags one guy in the head.
Yeah.
shovels this dude right in the side of the face.
Oh, but they have some good Foley work
Good
on that.
Foley.
On
It's a
that
good
shovel
Kong.
to the
Yeah.
head hit.
But he's just basically there, like, come on, who's next? Who's going to get hit with my floppy shovel? And
floppy shovel.
so that's when Joe comes back from his meeting, and he's like, "Whoa, hold on, and you can't listen. You can't
Not
do
like
anything.
this.
You can't do anything illegal, man, because I mean, this is his inner monologue, which is he's basically just trying to just let him do whatever."
Yeah.
And
to which immediately one of the crackheads throws a bottle that just shatters on the back of Carlos' head.
Everyone's quieted down, and Carlos and Joe are having that face-off to where Carlos is like, "What? You're just supposed to let them attack this lady?" And that's when just glass bottle comes from off screen and just clocks him.
Doesn't even flinch. He just is like, see
Yeah.
that? See that
Yeah,
shit?
he
see
reaches
what
back,
happened?
pulls the blood off,
Yeah,
and
just
shows
like,
it.
"You see my blood?"
Shows it to Joe.
I'm gonna fuck these people up now. And just turns around and fucking clocks the nearest guy to him, and then
It's just a fucking Donnybrook.
it's a bar Donnybrook, but outside, because everyone runs in, and Joe's basically like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, we got to do this. Let's fucking do this." So they fuck those guys up.
Yeah, and I love that they fuck them all up and chase them away. And there's a Haitian dude who's just like standing in front of the house with a fucking machete.
Waving it like, "Yeah, you mess with the
Yeah.
bull, you get the horns." It's like, dude,
Dude, you could have ended this. Like, all you got to do is machete one guy, and the rest of them go,
Right.
all right,
Yeah.
we're out of here, man.
he had the limp shovel that was not going to do anything.
I
You
don't
got
know.
a fucking machete.
I'm pretty sure crackheads are a lot like buffalo. They don't necessarily react when one goes down.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. All right.
I think also also to be fair, a shovel's got reach. A machete has some reach, but a shovel has real reach out and get you. So sure. Machetes, they have real reach out and get you.
A machete will sever your arm.
It
True.
might.
A shovel.
A shovel will.
A shovel could theoretically decapitate you. Not full cut the head off, but just separation of the.
Okay. In an infinite world of possibilities, yes, a shovel could decapitate
shovel
a man
would.
with a swing.
But
Yes.
But anyway, so they chase him off, and he's like, "Oh well, I all right,
Yeah.
fine."
This is
win.
us now. This is
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah, and at some point, Carlos goes to find Nikki.
Yeah. There's one weird scene where Joe sends Dorsey out with the electric money. It's like, go down to the electric company and give him this deposit. And he's like, what if I just take this money? And he's like, you might. And then he does go and turn. I guess he turns on the power, even though this place is dark as fuck.
Well,
all the time.
eventually somebody, like, in one of the interstitial scenes between then and the next time we see
Yeah.
Carlos, somebody is like flips the lights on or something,
Okay.
or takes a hot shower or something like that.
But so there's a bit, and it's 80s weird filming, but like Dorsey is just kind of hanging out in a doorway and watching Carlos prepare to leave, but kind of looking at him romantically, like, hey friend, where you going, sailor? And it's odd that the movie seems to be going for something that it never brings up again, because Carlos is just basically like, yeah, I need to go find my girl. I gotta go.
But you've got Dorsey, right?
Yeah, but but there is that kind of like, well, okay, I'll be here when you get back, and it's like, it's happening. I mean, if you want to do that movie, go ahead, but commit. I mean, this scene is just odd. Why
Is this the first time he goes to see Lauren Holly, or is this the second time he's...
First time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. The first time, because
Yeah.
the second time he went and told Stephen Lang, I'm out of here.
Yeah, the first
'cause
time.
he finds his friend.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, where's Nikki? You know, and his friend's like, hey, I got this girl here, and she's got a hot friend coming. And he's like, listen, I
That's
just need
nice.
to find Nikki. And
Yeah.
he's like, all right, you can go find her, but your clothes are shit.
Yeah,
We need to get you this sweet silk jacket that
Yeah.
you can wear over there.
which is basically a rectangle. It's just fucking.
It is a green paisley brocade rectangle.
It is amazing.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I want it.
However, not the best jacket in this movie.
No. That
No,
comes later.
yeah.
He did have to murder a large chair and ottoman to make that jacket. though.
Yeah.
Sure.
So he goes to this building's penthouse where Nikki has been set up and is living. And Nikki's just kind of like, oh, hey.
Well, she's very happy to see him. Like, she opens the door and immediately
Yeah.
jumps on him and is kissing him. And
Right.
then he goes in and he's very much like, so,
Well, she
what's
goes like,
this place?
she goes, I'm working for, what's his face now?
James
Nestor.
Remar.
Yeah, Nestor.
Nestor.
Yeah.
And he's like, huh.
oh, really?
Well, he immediately turns into, like, shitty, suspicious boyfriend
Yeah.
thing.
He's like, well, I'm probably going to go.
No, he's like, you're fucking him, aren't you? And she's like, no.
No,
That's
it's not
the second
like that.
time.
No, that's
Huh?
the first time.
That's the first
Is it
time.
the first time?
Yep.
Okay.
And she's like, no, it's not like that. No. And he's like, no, fuck all this. I'm out of here.
Yeah, and he just leaves.
And
Okay,
yeah, and as he
okay.
gets into the entryway to the building, James Remar's there.
Right,
And
right,
he's basically like, hey,
Hey, you're back. Where were you? What's your deal? Doesn't matter. Come here, Nikki.
Yep. And then she slowly walks over and he just kind of like grabs her by the neck and he goes, now you have nothing.
Yep. Get out.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right. To which, like, Nestor's parents are standing outside or something. There's just this
Yeah.
old couple standing outside, like, ooh, my son's a badass. But yeah, so I'm guessing that Carlos was basically going to be like, I'm going to get Nikki and we're going to get the fuck out of here. But he's like, well, I guess I'll go back to the shitty house now and be with my friends.
Yeah, I will note that like whatever apartment she's in is fucking awesome 80s.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things like it doesn't feel like a set that they built.
No.
It feels like they found somebody's awesome
Yeah.
80s Miami apartment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine 80s apartment. It's this apartment.
The architecture is awesome. However, the furniture looks like the most uncomfortable furniture ever created by man.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's that like super high concept 80s as fuck
Like,
furniture.
It's got that weird couch thing where it's like it's got the like an S in it, and so people could sit like back to
Right,
back
on either
almost. but
side,
yes.
yeah.
And then one of those chairs that just sort of looks like a torture device, like if you could turn a ball gag into a chair. That's what it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I can describe it.
Yeah,
Wow.
my mind didn't go there first, but okay.
Transformers were weird in the 80s.
They sure were.
This couch is a ball gag.
yeah, apparently there's some interesting stuff in the trivia, like the production designer just went ham at the scan design or something and brought in all this high end furniture to throw around the sets to make it look like it should, like
Sure.
a fucking coke whore den,
Yeah.
It's
for lack of a better
it's
term.
era appropriate. Like
Yeah.
when they were in there, I'm like,
it's
yeah,
fantastic.
this is 1986 right here. So, but yeah, so Carlos goes back to the house,
And at this point, like I think Lawrence Fishburne rolls up again
They're out playing basketball.
Yeah, that's right. They've now gone across. They fixed up the house, and now they've gone across the street and have fixed up the park. And there's like kids, and like they're like, "Fuck yeah, park's back!" And they're playing basketball, which is weird because like they have a basketball hoop that's like part of the street. It's like, shouldn't that be in the park? So you're not playing in the street.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
It's not a high traffic area.
No.
80s Miami.
But yeah, Lawrence Fishburne and company he rolls up in the car, and they've got a Cadillac following him now, and you know, because he's brought his muscle, and basically pulls a gun on James Remar, who's like not backing down.
Stephen Lang.
Yes, sorry, Stephen Lang.
Yeah,
and who's not backing down at all. And Stephen Lang just does his like, I've been in the shit, like turn the gun on you, and
well, Lawrence Fishburne's like, this park is mine.
Well, he keeps calling him Tonto also.
Yeah, just to further cement that he's an Indian.
rude.
But yeah, he's just basically like, look, man, this park is mine. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you need to knock it off. And Stephen Lang does his, you know, his kung fu Vietnam shit.
And all of the guys are like armed to the teeth.
Holy shit, these guys have just all the World War II armaments.
Yeah, it's all grease guns, and there's like a couple Mac 10s and Tech 9s. But
So he, you know, throws Lawrence Fishburne on the ground with a gun to his face.
Looks like he breaks his arm.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess
He
didn't.
does, because he has a cast on.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Yeah. Okay.
So he's got a gun right in his face, and he's like, okay, call off your dogs.
Which they don't right away until he's like, second time, he's like, I said put the guns down. And he's like, all of them.
Yeah.
Because then they proceed to pull out
Extra
even more
guns.
like handguns out of like hidden crevasses of their clothes. And lay them all on the ground. And, you know, he's like, all right, kids, gather the guns. Don't play with them.
Don't play with them. Yeah. And so they all just pick up the guns.
And they basically like, get out of here and, you know, chase them off. And then he goes back, you know, crying to James Remar, but like the kids go in and immediately start playing with the guns.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They're just like, and he's like, no.
And Stephen Lang's like, do you have the balls to not play with a gun?
He's like, if you want to use a gun, first thing you got to have is respect.
Yeah.
Because if you just start spraying, it could go through a window and shoot a
Kill
kid.
that 2-year-old on
Yeah.
the second floor.
And then how will you feel? And they're like, oh, okay.
And then they kind of have like a sort of like a half-assed paintball montage where he teaches them to gun.
Okay, so what happens is he teaches Carlos how to snipe, basically, but it's not it's not apparent that that's what he's doing. He just has 2 lines of like, okay, 500 yards, winds 5 miles per hour, you shoot 4 degrees this way. And then he says it one different way, and then that's it for the instruction of that. And then it's just paintball time. It's just let's run through the park shooting paintball at each other.
Yeah.
But that goes the training of this goes nowhere.
The only thing that it imparts is, you know, the first thing with the title of the movie, where he goes, you know, you form a band, and the man on your left has everything to your left, and the man on to your right has everything to your right.
It's like, you guys are all part of a body. And he called, like, when he went in to pitch for funding for this thing, he called them a band then too. But yeah, so they're inching towards the title. This movie takes its sweet ass time getting to the fucking title of itself, but it's still not there yet either.
Yeah,
still just saying band, and you guys are appendages. So
yeah,
But they either find out or find, like, he's kind of having like some moments where he's wallowing about his past failures, and he's like looking at newspapers, and I think that's when what's his face, Carlos, comes up and is like, I'm leaving, man, right?
Yeah, he's like, I gotta fight my own battles.
yeah, he's told them all basically like, okay, I've taught you everything, you guys are free. He's kind of freaking out that he doesn't want them to die like everyone else who has died.
Yeah, because he knows, like, by threatening Lawrence Fishburne that was that.
Yeah, he starts
like there will be retribution.
Yeah. And
Which kind of happens a little later, because Lawrence Fishburne goes to Remar's boat, and Nikki is there, sunning herself on the boat, and, you know, Lawrence Fishburne's like, hey, I got it handled. It's just this small gang of dudes. I can destroy their house and take them out, and they won't be a problem anymore.
It's like, well, they better not be.
Yeah. Yeah, and Remar's doing his whole, like, when they get your shit together, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got my shit together. He's like, no, you don't.
But like,
I'll just get another guy in there to do your job.
Remar doesn't know that Carlos is at this house, and Carlos doesn't know that Remar is behind Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Like, this part has not been established yet.
Yeah. But Remar stabs his henchman in the hand for no particular, because
He's looking at Nikki.
because he looked at Nikki.
Yeah. He's very possessive of Nikki for
Of his
ultimately
16-year-old
no good
girlfriend.
reason.
Yeah.
But so Carlos is just basically like, man, this is a bad scene. I'm gonna get Nikki and we're gonna get the hell out of here. So he goes to get her back to her sweet apartment. And this is just kind of a weird. Oh, this is.
Is it hers or is it her friend's apartment?
It's hers. The guy is there keeping her company.
Okay.
Because he's like, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, because he said like, I've been trying to get in touch with you.
I mean, unless every 80s apartment did have that weird glass wall of the glass cubes that distort everything.
Yeah.
So maybe it's
I'm
a different
pretty sure
apartment. I don't know.
Miami, yes.
But
I think they all did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was like a city ordinance.
Okay, fine. Yeah. But yeah, friend dude goes away, and then they have.
Oh, Carlos runs through every emotion.
Yeah, they both do because
this scene's the weirdest one.
Oh yeah,
because it's kind of like I can't interpret what the fuck either of you are doing right now.
Yeah, this is just she get to them together somehow, but we need conflict in here, so do something.
So cram it all in one scene. Because she
Yeah.
goes, I have like $10,000. We can just take the car and leave, and we don't have to come back.
And then he's like, "You're fucking Nestor."
Well, yeah. Well, he goes, I don't want your fucking money.
Yeah.
And it's like the money wasn't the point. The money was like how you get away.
That was just an extra bonus of let's leave, and then he like hits her. And this is all while that song
Broken Wings by
is playing.
Mr. is playing.
Yeah, and it's like they're obviously leading up to something, but all these emotions are not in any way part of what this song would indicate. Because like he hits her, and she's like, then they both scream at each other at the same time, and you have no idea what either of them are saying. And then he's just like, "I love you, baby," and they just start making out, and then it's sex scene through the glass distorted thing to where it's like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I see flesh. But it's kind of like what when you were a kid and you caught, then you were like kept switching over to Cinemax.
Yeah.
And you were trying to catch it between
It's
the
like,
lines.
is that? Oh wait, no.
Well, we should say when we were kids.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Flip back and forth. Maybe it'll lock. Maybe it'll lock.
No, I'm pretty sure there's a motion of undergarments being removed, but that's about all you can tell.
Yeah,
That
it
was-
took off Carlos's panties.
Yes,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
panties came off. So, yeah, they have the sex to that song, and then
Do they?
Yeah, they quickly cut away from that,
Yeah.
and they are driving out of town. They are getting
It's
the fuck
nighttime
out,
now, and they're leaving.
and she is just like explaining her day on the boat,
Oh, she's like, oh yeah, man, like he stabbed a guy's hand,
Just
There's
for
this-
looking at me.
and
There's this big black dude with a sweet ass haircut.
and he's said something about these punks have taken over this building, and they're going to go back and murder them all.
Somebody
tonight.
took over a cement block, and
Yeah.
now they're going to take it back.
So she's like, "Phew, I'm glad we're not involved in that." And he's just like,
Do it immediately.
U-turn right away. Which, by the way, he was leaving town with the sweet Jeep. That seems unfair.
No, he was in
he was-
her Mercedes.
Was he?
Yeah,
Convertible
he was in her
Mercedes.
All right. I thought all the convertible cars in this are
Doyce or whatever. What is
Doyce?
that guy's name?
Dorsey.
Dorsey, yeah, Doyce.
Doyce.
noise.
I can't. He's like a doy kind of guy to me.
Doyce.
Dorsey.
Yeah.
He was the one that was taking the sweet Jeep later.
Okay. All right. You're right.
But speaking of Dorsey, he's hanging out on the roof, like on patrol
Yep.
with his machine gun.
Yeah, because they
And-
know Larry Fishburne's coming back.
Yeah. To which he does, and they immediately open fire on the building, and he throws like dynamite or something, or I guess they're just Molotovs,
Yeah.
like through the window. And
But there's just so much crack in that house that it's
Yeah.
So much crack just
these
seeped into the
Molotovs
walls.
go off.
Yes.
I mean, there are huge explosions that come out of each of them.
yeah, and like the facade of this building is on fire.
Yeah.
To
But-
which, like, because Ruben is in his room now. Ruben has a nice room because he's got a bed, which is a lawn chair that is strung up.
He has a
like
lawn
a-
chair hammock.
It's a floating cot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But man, that like his entire window is on fire, and he is just like, I can't see, I can't, what am I shooting at? So yeah, this is just intense gun battle time.
Yeah. I mean, and Joe he's outside, and he's like, all right, time to murder dudes.
Oh, it's Vietnam 2 for Joe. I mean, this is his time, and I think
There is a pretty sweet moment where he's like in the street gunning at one of the cars coming at him, and he goes into a car that's like on cinder blocks with all the doors ripped off.
Yep.
And basically just travels through the car while shooting at everyone.
Yep. And I think I think it was BJ at this point who said that they are using every sound effect for every.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
literally every gun sound effect possible goes off.
Yeah.
But it's mixed well, which is something we haven't
Yes.
gotten
It's-
from
yeah,
a
it's
lot
pretty-
of gun battle movies.
It
here
doesn't
lately.
sound like 60s Western, like, okay, I've
There's
heard
a
this
little
before.
bit of that every once in a
There are a
while,
few
but I mean, it is.
Yeah.
But it is like the Foley guy got paid by the bullet or something. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but I
he
mean,
got his pay on that movie.
comparatively speaking to Man Killers, it doesn't sound like someone flicking a piece of paper every time
Correct.
you shoot.
Yeah.
Correct.
But, man, so there is just shooting and murdering going on all over the place. Carlos has arrived on scene and
Drops off Lauren Holly.
Lauren Holly get out of the car and then starts playing chicken with Larry Fishburne's car, and they're just driving at each other down the street. He jumps out of the car. Larry Fishburne's driver is just basically like, what could go wrong? And crashes into that car, which then flips it over.
It explodes and flips over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone's like, okay, sweet. I think we took care of this problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go over to help him up, and they're like, "Cool, yeah, all right,
Yeah.
Look at all this fire and
and
shit."
Joe's like, "Where's Dorsey?" And meanwhile, the door the back door has opened of the car that got flipped, and Lawrence Fishburne has crawled his way out, slowly raises his gun, and then somebody goes, "Oh my God!"
Yep.
And
Him.
everyone dives out of the way. Joe takes aim.
Well, okay, so Crazy was going to take the bullet for Joe, and Joe just fucking throws him out of the way.
Yeah.
Throws everyone out of the way, and then he and Larry Fishburne murder each other with 100 bullets. They are just full on machine gunning each other. They're like, neither of us is getting out of this, and they just both murder each other.
Which I have to point out, Lawrence Fishburne has a very good death.
Oh man,
Like he does a good death flop.
Yeah, like he
a great death flop.
Yeah,
actually.
he's like on the back. He's on the trunk of the car in front of like the back fender, and he kind of leans over backwards onto it
Yeah.
as he gets shot, but then he flops back forwards.
It's good.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
he
is.
does a real
I mean,
good flop
it
off
hurt.
of the car.
I guarantee you that hurt.
Yeah.
yeah.
And Joe's dead. Like, there's no final like,
Yep.
get James Remar for me. None of that. It's just, oh shit, Joe's dead. To which they're all just like, oh well.
I guess that's that.
Well, they're also like, we got to go because the sirens are going nuts.
Yeah.
We don't really have a way of explaining this.
So nice knowing all of you. We're leaving.
Well, somebody goes, "Get the Jeep,"
Yeah.
and we're like, "Oh man, what are they going to do?" At first we're like,
Yeah, they don't
It's-
break
it's
up.
like-
they don't break up yet because they have to go.
Right,
get to
Yeah,
the
but
funeral
our
in the
thought is
swamp.
like, "Oh,
They're
man.
not breaking up. They're getting the fuck out.
Yeah,
Sure,
but
yes.
our thought is like this, like, oh, they go to regroup, and then you're gonna fucking take on James Remar, and they're like, well, I guess this is it. Somebody get the Jeep, and yeah, the next scene is Joe's funeral.
Yes.
Back on
Out
like,
in the Everglades,
on the,
yeah.
Yeah.
in the Everglades.
Yeah, they're gonna have like a swamp fire or something.
Yep. And they're all just like, then they're back at the house in front, and they're like, all right, well, yeah,
We're free.
been nice knowing you guys.
Yeah. We don't have
and
to
and
do
one of
this
them's like, yeah,
anymore.
I'm free until they catch me.
Yeah.
So
I think that's Moss. Moss is
Yeah.
just like, if they
not
catch
gonna
me, I'm
happen
going
yet.
back to jail. They ain't going to catch me.
And then it's just like indeterminate time passes, and they all just kind of like one by one start showing back up at the house, and it's the house is fucked now. Like they've been gone for like a day.
Absolutely.
and it has been spray painted to hell.
Right.
It's just like,
It is. I think Lauren Holly says that these are Nestor's symbols.
yes,
Like this is his blood.
Once they all
magic.
get back to the house,
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, there's the chicken, there's the dead chicken,
Yes.
and he's like, and she's like, brujeria. This is
Yeah, but it's weird because it takes so long to get that information. You're like, how much time has passed to where the crackheads immediately came back in and said, "Fuck everything in this house."
And
oh,
also-
as soon as everybody left, like the second
soon
that
as the
people
fires
left,
were out.
fucking crackheads scurried in there like cockroaches.
Oh, they probably didn't wait for the fires to out. They were like, "Oh, I can light my pipe off that."
They're standing in the fire, smoking.
Yeah.
They're just holding the crack in their hand at that point.
Yeah. So
How about I get the tinfoil?
So, like, Joe's files are all over the place, and they're all reading, like, the history of Joe, which is just basically, like, he was in Vietnam.
Well, I just want to point out, like, what kind of mystical force brought them all back into the house at the exact same time? Because
It's weird. They all do
the
arrive.
mystical force of movie making.
Yeah.
sure, I just
The
mean
spirit of Joe,
Yeah.
the Indian.
they all do
Tegra.
that like thing at the end of movies where everyone just kind of shows back up and
Yeah.
does the little like nod thing, and
Like, hey, I'm here too.
Hey man, they all got some lunch, and then they had nowhere else to go after that.
I was going to say, they literally could have driven around the block and then all been like, oh, well, maybe we should come back for a sec.
holy shit!
Exactly.
I mean,
Nestor's been back by.
we knew there were some
crackheads have
fires
ruined it.
outside, but shit.
Yeah. So they're just reading the files, it's like, oh, he was in Vietnam, he did all this cool shit, and
they're saying he found out he's the only one that the only one that got out of his unit, and they were called the
Band of the Hand. Yeah, because they find like a picture of his squad in Vietnam, and they're all holding out hands.
Squad goals.
And so
what, to all die?
Yeah,
but
I don't think they met them.
That's a terrible squad goal. To which they're all just like, you know what? That's us. We're the new Band of the Hand. Let's all touch hands now and be weird about it. So they all kind of do the, all right.
Hands touching hands, reaching out.
Carlos and Ducey are,
Yes. Scissoring.
Yeah, they're touching a little much.
Okay. But, man, everyone puts their hands in, and it's... Dois. But they all just put their hands in and are just like, what do we do? Like, go team? What's the thing that we do here? And it's weird because like Lauren Holly is just also sitting there not participating in this, but looking at them like
she's not. There's not enough.
No, there's no.
There's only five fingers on a hand,
right.
Unless
There's a six-fingered man.
Yeah.
They killed their father, so they should prepare to make other people die.
Yeah. So this turns the third act kicks in now, and it is we're going to fucking murder James Remar. Let's do this. And so this is just basically like them MacGyvering up.
Yeah, they go and scout out they follow one of his runners. And meanwhile, James Remar has had a meeting with his lead guy,
With
Tito.
Paul.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hey, my name's Paul.
Paul.
Just between y'all. It's a guy from Pulp Fiction.
I know.
It's weird. He looks older in this than he does.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's really strange.
Yeah, he's also in Out of Sight for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And yeah, he looks way older in this movie.
It's that weird
Despite
thin
being-
mustache thing that he's got going on.
Yeah. But, he's like, we got the big deal going. You got to follow the courier and make sure that he drops that shit off because nothing can go wrong because the big guys are going to be here. And if you find Nikki, do whatever the hell you want with her and kill her.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, what about the kids? And he's like, they're nothing. I don't care.
They're gone. They've dispersed.
Yeah, we took out their leader. So
Yeah.
we cut the head off the snake.
Right.
So they had that scene where he's talking with him, and essentially he's like, we're making a drug processing facility. I want everything perfect, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and the kids end up following the courier
Right.
to see like what the hell's going on. And then they get, they get to this facility out in the middle of nowhere.
Which is like a military encampment.
Yeah. It's like the five of them should have looked at it and been like, you know what?
Yeah.
Fuck Nestor,
Yeah.
but I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. Love you, but
Yeah.
don't want to see you this soon.
We're not going to join you.
Because, I mean, we're talking like they have double set of fence,
Yeah.
like
With-
perimeter
with-
fences.
with,
there
like-
3 fences? They cut through like 3 fences.
Because there's like a dog
Well,
moat.
yeah, there's like, yes. That's
what it is.
literally a dog moat.
moat. Yep.
Because it's a pack of like 8 Dobermans.
Yep. 80s. Dobermans, man.
Yeah.
Those were the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just this little...
It is a dog boat.
running-
They
yeah.
made a perimeter fence with another perimeter fence, and the dogs just roam in between there.
Yeah. And so they're like, well, I don't know, man, but they're not really discouraged by this. Our reaction would have been, oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
There's 30 dudes here and dogs. Nuh-uh.
But no, they've got a plan. They go and
They go to the hardware store.
well, they had a model made up. What the hell was the main building? It was like
It was a box of camels.
Yeah.
box of camels. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah, and like, all right, we have this whole plan. Yeah, and yes, they go to a hardware store, and
Yeah.
there's a prolonged scene where they're buying fertilizer and gopher gas.
Go for gas.
And a
From
bunch
the-
of
Yeah,
Clerk.
it's Hedwig and Lauren Holly
Yeah.
are the two buying the stuff. And the clerk is the lawyer from Jurassic Park.
Yes, he is.
As soon as he popped up, I'm like, where do I fucking know that guy? And Harlow thankfully pointed it out. But
It took me a second, but I was like, that's the lawyer dude.
yeah, but he's buying. There's just like gopher gas and just all this, fertilizer,
furnace
all this,
salt.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. Well, he asks them rather accusingly, like,
Yeah.
what are you planning on doing with all this?
Yeah,
And the guy, and
JL crazy is just like, well, we're planting a garden,
Yeah.
but we got gophers, and if
Might do
we're going
this
to use
and-
this in that case, and then he's like, huh, well, there's no gophers down here, right?
yeah.
He's like, now armadillos.
Yeah, it's a
They're
nice
everywhere.
long pause
Yeah.
where the guy, he's just like giving him the eye,
Like,
It
you're
waits.
up to something.
It waits. It waits. And he's like, but armadillos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gets into this whole process of like, well, if you gas them this way, and then what you can do is hit them with a paintball shot, and that way you can find them at night.
Tag him with fluorescent paint, and then
Yeah.
you see him at night, and then you come up from behind him and strangle him.
Yeah, he goes, you get the you can get the wire,
Yeah.
and if you can get behind him, you can cut their motor real quick.
He's like, I'm from Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah.
We have armadillos that are 3 feet tall. And
Didn't he say grow like 9 feet tall, something like that?
Yeah,
He's going
he
on and
eventually
on.
starts ad-libbing by the end of it.
And they are walking out the door, like, and he is still just like, yeah, well, you know. And
I
then
like that Lauren Holly is pulling.
Yeah.
Is pulling Crazy away.
Crazy
but
kinda wanted to hear the
he's
story.
like, hey man, this guy knows his shit.
Should bring him along.
Maybe he should be in the band.
Yeah, put him in the band.
You can play
there's
cowbell.
there's no more room on the hand. Sorry. Yeah, but
Yeah.
so now we know that they've got some kind of plan, and they get to the warehouse.
Okay.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Okay.
Hula just pointed out that we're about to skip over. We mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Crazy's jacket. This is where
Yes.
it makes its first appearance.
Okay. First of all, they have all changed into brand new outfits.
Except for Carlos. He's gone back to his formal wear.
He is still in his suit, but everyone else has put on brand new, brightly colored 80s outfits, including Lauren Holly, who is wearing pink fucking boots for this assault,
Yeah.
Orange
which
pants.
she's a part of. I don't know why. But so they've all got brand new outfits on. JL, Crazy.
Ruben's wearing a sparkly gold jacket.
Yes.
But yes.
Crazy has himself a full trench coat jacket with like comic panels on it.
Not comic. It's like one comic panel
Yeah, just
Blown
like
up.
one
covering
giant.
the entire thing.
It is fucking awesome. But the best view of you that you get of this jacket is like on the cover of the Blu-ray or on the poster. This movie does not linger on this jacket at all,
It should.
and that's a crime
This jacket belongs in a museum.
because it's awesome.
The 80s was just that was
Yeah,
commonplace.
It was rote. It was just like, yeah, well, look at this fucking jacket.
He's got a comic jacket.
So, this is what he wears.
Did you buy a Jacket Sans comic?
Yeah, this is his. Yeah, this is his assault jacket. You know, this is his take on the army of drug dealers
Yes.
jacket.
Yes,
I guess if he knew he was going to die, he wanted to die stylishly.
sure. Why not? I
Yeah.
guess they probably found Joe's money somewhere. We're just like, I wish there'd been a shopping montage. Oh, they had
girl,
the $10,000.
she still had $10,000,
She
yeah.
had the 10,000. So they spent it on
$525,600.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, now they're going to assault the place.
Yeah.
And it's basically so Carlos gets up in a sniping position,
Yep.
and JL goes over and is going to release the gopher gas into the ventilation system of the place, which James Remar is telling the head like regional drug dealer or whatever. This place is so awesome. The air conditioning system filters out the ether.
Nobody smells anything outside.
Yeah, it's the best. We have the best air conditioning. It is the greatest. And that's like right when the gopher gas starts pumping.
Yeah, well, before they get
I was
there,
going to say,
yeah,
first when they were
they have to
loading
get
up,
through the dog moat.
yeah, they loaded up a dog
right.
into the
Yeah.
car with them, and they're like, "Where
This
what
nice
is
looking
dog?
golden retriever.
Like, where'd this dog come from? Why is it on the mission?"
And why are they taking it?
Yeah.
So yeah, they cut into the dog moat, set this dog free. The Dobermans come running out, and like they're like the Dobermans like running around the corner, and that's when they decide to like second guess their plan. They're
Yeah.
like,
You
They're
sure
like,
this
you
dog's in heat?
Yeah.
basically, yeah, it's a bait dog.
Yep.
Like and they take it. Like they send the dog out running on the fence, and all the Dobermans are like, "Yeah,
Sweet. They run
they
after
basically make a little dog funnel.
Yeah.
Because they pull the one piece of fence that they have, they kind of hold it in
Yep.
place, and the dogs just race right out.
it. And so the dog mode has been emptied. and
this moat
Yep.
is clean."
and we never see any of those dogs again.
Yep.
Uh,
So
which is
yeah,
probably
so
good.
Crazy gets it like he's at the side of the building, which you know there's guards everywhere. There's guys in front like
Rolling
shooting
dice,
dice
yeah.
and all that, and he's just pouring this stuff in, and like he's doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
He's like making sure he gets the entire thing in there.
And he's dedicated too, because like a guy comes out for a smoke break and sees him
Yep.
and is going to take him out, to which Carlos snipes him.
Yep.
Which starts everyone just like, oh my God, and running around.
And he barely flinches. Like he flinches when he gets shot at, but then
Yeah.
after that he's like, oh nope, more gopher gas.
Gotta keep
get
pouring
that
this
shit
gopher gas
there.
in there. Yeah. So he keeps at it. And this is just time to shoot everything scene.
Which is, it's fine. Like Carlos saves him several times via sniping, but then they're like, oh yeah, we've made this like full on military because a guy goes up to the roof.
Well, I like that when they first like they all the guys like they're getting to their positions and doing their attack, and then all of a sudden the floodlights come on and they're like in the middle of
Yeah, they're like deer, like
they're like in the killing fields right at that point. They're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
you know, and they all run back behind a car that's there.
A limo.
But
Yeah.
yes,
There's a limo that's parked there.
and that's when
there's a machine gun nest on the roof that was previously kind of covered up, and it just
Yeah.
kind of goes poof, and like explodes open,
flips open.
Yeah.
and a 50 cal machine gun comes out, and they're like, "Oh fuck!"
And you can see Paul Calderon is back there just lighting everyone up with this thing. And primarily taking out frustrations on this limo. They fucked this limo up.
Yeah, he shoots it to shit.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a box truck that gets it, and just he's panning along trying to aim at everybody, but two of them are hiding behind this limo. And
He's going to
fucks-
make sure that he gets them.
Yes. He fucking fucks this limo up.
Yeah. He's wrecking it. And eventually he gets sniped through the small opening that's there.
Dead center in the forehead.
Yep. He gets killed.
Yeah.
And then immediately another guy pops up there. It's,
Oh, yeah,
it's
Call of
just
Duty
like Call
backup.
of Duty.
Yes.
That guy is immediately like, oh, gotta get up there.
It's my turn now. I get to shoot
And so,
the
like, because those guys pop out from behind the limo, and then all of a sudden they see the gun whir up again. They're like, ah, fuck! Jump behind the limo again.
Yeah.
To which Crazy now is like, "All right, I got this," and jumps up on the roof and basically tosses some sort of
They've got
explosive-
weird little
explosive thing. Yeah.
devices that they stick the things in and they blow up, but it just looks like a bomb on a flashlight that they throw in.
Yeah.
But he throws it into the little opening of this thing.
And,
Like takes a running dive off the roof, like bounces off a van, and basically like breaks his ankle.
Yeah,
or whatever.
breaks his ankle.
Yeah.
But Moss, meanwhile, has gotten to the back door and blown the lock off of it, and then tossed a bomb inside. And you know they've been going back and forth, just shooting a lot of guys like around corners and all that. And I think they eventually get like James Remar gets out of the building, but they end up shooting. I think Carlos actually snipes the head cocaine guy.
Yeah, that guy
up,
starts to come out the front
cartel
door,
dude.
and they dispatch him quickly. But
Yeah.
so James Remar is kind of slinking around the outer edges of this thing, and that's where Lauren Holly is standing and waiting with a shotgun.
Yep.
And
Pistol grip pump. Yeah.
yeah, and so James Remar, who's armed with a Uzi, just kind of throws it away and is just like, "What are you going to do?"
Well, no, he goes, just give me the gun.
Yeah, well, he starts slinking towards her, but he's like, "You're not going to shoot me. You're just not going to." And he gets all the way up to her and gets his hand around the barrel of the shotgun, and then she's basically like, "Yeah, I am going to shoot you," and does, and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
like she wings him, or it's not like, you know, there's nothing more to it.
No.
She shoots him and he's dead. That's it.
I was kind of hoping for a little bit less realistic, more the yank back shotgun
Yes.
effect. 'Cause
Yeah, this was like, "Oh, you shot me."
I fully appreciated, like, I always appreciate when a person gets dispatched by the person that was most wronged.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I always appreciate that. And so I, like, when the scene happened, I was like, that's why you brought her along. Good. Good. Murder the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
And
They almost
yeah,
copped out of that, and then they did.
I mean,
so.
he got a shotgun to the chest. That's pretty good. I was just, like I said, I was expecting that, like, you know, unrealistic, like, blam, you blown back 6
throw
feet.
him back,
Yeah.
yank him back through a fence.
But anyway, still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, Ruben gets shot,
Yeah, he gets hit in the shoulder.
Yeah, he gets clipped.
and
But yeah, they're like dragging everybody out because they got to drag Crazy out. He's, you know,
yeah, and they're basically like, "Okay, blow it."
Yeah, they're all like kind of they've gotten outside the fence and they're all just shooting handguns at this point because
Yeah,
they've run out of everything else.
Yeah,
And yeah, and they're like, blow it already. And he's mashing the button, and then finally it kicks in.
yeah,
And it kicks in about 4 stages of explosion on this building.
Holy fuck.
well, even more that we didn't actually even see because, like,
yeah. So
like the top goes like kind of where the machine gun nest goes, and then like the bottom goes, and then apparently it gets down to the basement or whatever because it's like, boom, okay, that's pretty good. And then it's like, boom, oh, that's actually really good. And then all of a sudden it's just like, boom,
Yeah.
like screen filling
Boom.
experience.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
yeah, and then
Accurate.
cut to them leaving, driving away,
Down the
You
highway.
still just hear it
and in the
exploding.
background, there's more explosions going
Yeah,
on.
and I do like that they have like the ambulances and fire trucks going behind them like on a cross street.
Yeah, and they get to a roadblock, a police roadblock, where they roll up to it and they're like, "Ah, hell, here we go."
Yeah. One of us is shot.
Yeah. And man,
Oh, they just go full on like, "Hi, officer, how's it going?
Yeah.
What's going on back there? We
Boy,
can hear
it
it all the
sounded
way from Homestead."
dangerous. And
Yeah, and in the least realistic thing in this movie, they let the black guy talk to the cop
yeah. He's
out
just
of all
like,
of them in the car.
he's like, "Hey, buddy," and the officer's like, "Where are you going?" And just like, "Oh, we're going to the club. We're gonna go."
Yeah,
They just
we're
say
going
we're
to
going to
Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, one of them's like, "Hey, man, we're coming from Homestead. What's going on over there?"
Yeah. And the guy's like, "Just don't drink too much beer, kids. Get
Yeah.
out of here." And they turn the corner and drive off, and that's it.
Yep, credits.
Movie's over. So, rate it.
And they said something like, "We can do it. We can do whatever now." Or
Yeah,
something
sure.
like,
Whatever. They're free.
Nothing can stop us.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
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 Stargrove for Band of the Hand. Band of the Hand.
No.
I don't understand what he said.
Yes, Stargrove.
I don't think he's describing anything in this movie. So no.
Miami through the Everglades.
See, that
Nope,
didn't happen.
that was not a lyric.
Not a lyric in the song.
Hunt boars and dodge a cougar.
It's a good soundtrack. It's
Yeah.
got some popular. It's got a Prince song in it. It's there's some popular stuff on the soundtrack. There's some unheard '80s stuff on it.
Needs more Yaz.
Yeah, it fits. It fits a lot of it. It's
Yeah.
it's pretty good. No Stargrove though.
Okay,
So, but I'll rate it.
go ahead.
I'm going to give this movie 3 jocks. I like this movie. I was worried about it for the first half of the movie, like all the the Everglades stuff. I was like, man, where's this going?
Yeah.
I honestly did not do a lot of research about what this movie was about. And so, like, when the movie started and there was just, like, the rumble in the streets, I was like, are they going to recruit those guys to go stop that? It's like, is this going to be like a crash, like 48 hours of jungle training and then dispatch them to stop the gang fighting that's happening or whatever? So I didn't know where it was going. And so it's a lot more deliberately paced than that. It's not like an exploitation movie or anything like that. It's a crime drama. It's, drug lord.
Yeah.
We got to do a thing. It's all kind of very understated along the way. There's not a lot of big moments, and none of the characters really stand out as like, I'm the leader or I'm the star or anything like that. They all are kind of blended into the same scenario, but I don't know. I for something I'd never seen a frame of, like, I no clue about anything in this movie. I think it's pretty good. It's got some slow bits, but it has enough character motivation to where you get to the end of this thing and they fucking nuke that drug facility and you're like, yeah, that was worth it. I mean, this is not an action-packed movie, but it's got enough stuff in it to where you're like, yeah, pretty sweet. And the 80s as fuck part of it is glorious. Just glorious. It adds so much. It's like thrashing in that regard. You're just like, yeah, I don't care
All
how
of it.
bad this is. Give it to me. So, 3 jocks.
Anyone else?
You
go.
All right, I can go.
Okay.
You go.
I mean, I don't care. No, I agree with all of that, except I think I liked it a little bit more. I'm going to give it 4 jocks.
Okay.
I knew fuck all about this movie. From the name, I assumed it was actually about a band. I was expecting some sort of
Same.
musical thing, and I'm okay with that. I didn't get that. Yeah, I mean, there are things in this movie that like almost make it a legit like good movie. Like, I mean, like, not. There's a lot of cheese in it, but I mean, like, there's. Like, even early Michael Mann movies showed the promise of, like, him being, like, considered a real filmmaker. And I know he didn't direct this. Starsky directed this.
Yeah.
But, like, there are things still going on this that very much make this feel like a Michael Mann movie. Music and location and everything wise aside. Like, that long tracking shot in the beginning that I almost completely forgot. It's like, like a miniature Touch of Evil thing going on through this crazy Donnybrook in the streets or whatever. And I like the little touches. I mean, maybe they didn't all work out exactly like they should have. Like, I think that the sex scene through those brick things was actually, like, cool. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to see shit. Like, we don't need to see.
We've seen that a billion times.
We don't need to see that.
Whatever.
Put your clothes on.
Yeah, and
We got Sedaris for that.
right, and I don't know. This is kind of one of those movies that, like, I get why people would recommend this as a bad movie, but, like, I would say it's, like, almost approaching a good movie. Like,
Yeah.
it's better than you think it is, and there's actually, like, some filmmaking chops that are better than you would think
Yeah.
there would be.
I think the only thing that makes it bad is its datedness, which
Dated-
doesn't necessarily make it bad.
And some of the
Like,
acting, like, some of these
Yeah.
people were a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, but I think it's more just like how overwhelmingly 80s it is that makes people go, man, that's got to be bad. When no, I don't know if you're done, but I agree with you. It's I think it's a Four Jocks movie. I think there's like the filmmaking is above a lot of what we tend to watch, and it's weird in that this has been lost in a way.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it has a solid cast. It has a surprisingly diverse cast for the time.
Right. Yeah.
And the music is great. The like you said, there's a lot of filmmaking stuff that they're doing that's like.
And maybe I'm just a little bit skewed because we just came off of Man Killers and Dalton. I mean, not not people known for making quality movies. Yeah. So like, maybe it's just I'm hungry and I feel a touch of actual filmmaking skills here.
Yeah, you're a hungry man. I
might be.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and goddamn, did they blow that place up near the end?
Yep.
And I'm always for that. I'm for that in movies. If you can blow a place up by the end. Yeah, and I also kind of like that the death scenes. I mean, yes, we talk about Lawrence Fishburne doing the flop and all that, but they're not overdone. They're not like like Joe just dies, and it's not like go avenge me. There's none of that. And James Remar. She doesn't even say anything when she kills him.
No. There is no it's not like he was not mortally wounded. I mean, he doesn't pop back up. None of that. He's shotgunned and he's dead.
If he popped back up, he got blown to smithereens.
Yes. Yeah. One of the 8 stages of that explosion caught him. So.
Yeah. And then there's the armadillo scene that, already probably bumped it up another Jocks. So,
yeah.
Yeah. I'd say it's a Four Jocks movie.
Yeah. I like to think that's like Spielberg saw this somehow and was like, I want that guy. Like, I don't care what he plays in my movie, but like, that guy's wacky. I want him.
He's good.
Yeah.
That explosion is, as usual, a really good screen-filling motherfucker of an explosion is worth at least a Jocks. I'm kind of back and forth between a 3 and a 4 right now. I'm not sure. It almost feels weird because, like Harlow said, this is bordering on an actual good movie. I mean, it's got actual movie chops in it. There's some that's just a little bit maybe a little bit too wacky for a quote-unquote good movie. But, I mean, large parts of the 80s were really wacky, and it's set in Miami, so it's gonna be wacky. There's no hope to avoid it. Like you can't get rid of the crazy fashion. You can't get rid of the crazy interior design or the architecture or any of that Miami flavor. So it's gonna be kind of outlandish. But I mean, it's really solid. They don't fuck up too much. They don't really like. There's nothing that stands out as a hallmark of a bad movie, except for a couple of the performances are a little bit weak. It's not like the world's most cliche plot, and even if it was, it's handled pretty well. It's pretty good. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 Jocks. It deserves it. It has earned it. I don't know what it's not like an outstanding 4 Jocks movie, which is weird to say. It's not like we're cheering in the stands and throwing streamers 4 Jocks movie, but it's just really solid. It really doesn't disappoint in any way, and it doesn't. It's a longer movie, but it doesn't waste a whole lot of your time, which is appreciated. Even though it's a little bit over 2 hours, right?
No, it's just under.
Just under
2 hours,
but that's
which is
20
way
minutes
long.
Than we do, yeah.
For one of our films, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like I guess it is a normal length film, but it feels like a normal length film. It doesn't drag too much anywhere, so it's pretty good. 4 Jocks, good job.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a break, shall we?
Let's.
Yeah.
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 Anybody have anything for the second half?
Yes.
No.
I don't.
I thought about I thought about cheating and covering a pinball movie that I've seen a bunch of times, like Dracula or Starship Troopers or
Don't cheat.
why? I can quite literally talk about those movies without watching them anytime soon.
What is this from?
Probably a chair. It's probably one of the things that covers the screw.
Yeah.
So I just got my Letterboxd year in review. My most watched actor was William Smith.
Nice.
And my most watched director was Sam Furstenberg.
That's surprising.
Yay, thanks, BMFcast.
Yeah, good job.
Only 87 movies logged for the year. That's real low for me.
Man.
Man, he's just he's letting off the foghorn in there.
Playing some trombone.
I say. What you doing in there?
Son.
Trying to summon John Cena. I didn't get to go to SmackDown last week.
Sorry.
Not our fault.
We have one voicemail, by the way.
Oh,
If you want to pull that.
Oh.
Oh.
I have 2 movies I don't want to mention real quick, and then I have a discussion question.
A discussion question.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to
a
discuss?
discussion question for like us to discuss?
Yes.
Well, I have to be out by 11:30, so hopefully it's
fine.
not a long discussion.
No, I need some feedback, and I thought it would
Yeah.
be better to have.
I can't be leaving after midnight again, or
Understandable.
I will be divorced.
No.
So-
My 2 movies are just basically a mention, and then I want to ask a question of the group.
Okay.
And then we can play a voicemail.
Yeah, we didn't even get into how this was a TV pilot.
It
that
felt
they-
like it.
that they adapted.
It felt like this was
Like in the jungle stuff, yeah, for sure.
Well,
and then when
it
they were
just-
starting to set up the place.
I mean, the movie doesn't feel like a TV movie or anything like that, but it does
The
feel
setup
like
does.
it feels like, all right, this is the origin story for this squad of elite dudes who are gonna, take care of business. I mean, like the tagline on this is all I really knew about the movie, and it just says, like out of jail, trained as a team, their battle to clean up the streets of Miami is about to begin. So when I saw that riot happening at the beginning, I was like, okay, this has got to be what this movie is. It's just like, for some reason, there's this week-long nonstop riot in Miami, and they just pluck some dudes out of it and are like, you need to infiltrate it and stop it.
yeah, in my head, this and like Streets of Fire were like the volcano to Dante's
Yes.
Peak for each other. Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's probably gonna be like a Streets of Fire type thing.
Yeah,
They're
no.
just crazy.
And these could not be more different.
No,
Wow, they
yeah.
made Lauren Holly look like Jennifer Grey on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that fucking jacket, Raquel. So good. So, what's this other poster on the back? So it's almost the same. Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly the same art, just reworked. Like, it's inside the hand.
Yeah. It's like.
It's not drastically different, but I mean, at least it's a choice. I mean,
Interesting.
I thought they would maybe like go with the original poster. But, it's Mill Creek. It's not Shout Factory, so. But, I mean, I'm glad we're getting to the point where this kind of stuff is making it out. I mean, because this is a studio movie.
Mm-hmm. Columbia TriStar.
Is that Jude Law? Why is he on the side of your browser?
I don't know. He's in some show.
Okay, cool.
I
Is
have
that,
ads
is,
on
that,
my-
is that the Cool Pope show?
Yeah, Cool Pope. Young Pope. Pope Young. The Young Pope.
Cool
Cool
young,
cool
young cool
cool.
Pope.
Yo,
Bust a
MC
move.
MCing cool
Bust
young.
a move, Pope. Bust a Pope.
Yeah.
Stone cold popin'.
Pope and fresh.
Speaking of 80s. I'll bust out all of my young MC knowledge.
All right. Ready?
So is there like some lineage of people making it that should make me care about young Pope? Aside from it's like, hey, it's Jude Law and Diane Keaton.
Young Peasy.
Jude Law is a Pope, but he's a jerk.
It says from Academy Award winner Paolo Sorrentino.
Cool. I don't know who that is.
Never met him.
Oh,
What did he win an Academy Award for?
I don't know.
Popity dopity. The old popity.
The old
pope-a-dope.
Pope on a rope. Rope a pope.
The old Pope-a-dope.
Pope on a rope.
Does the Pope shit in the woods?
Yes. With bears.
Only bears wear funny hats.
Bears. Beats.
Dumb old cat.
Battlestar Galactica. I don't know.
Oh.
He's Italian. He did things.
He made this he made that Sean Penn is the dude from the Cure movie.
What?
This must be the place.
Oh.
That
Yeah, where he looks like Robert Smith.
I'm going to say that's actually more horrifying to me than I think the John Travolta lady suit is to you.
It's pretty horrifying.
John Travolta lady shoot.
Hairspray, wasn't it Hairspray?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying I think you've mentioned that's like one of the most horrifying things to you, and I think that image of Sean Penn is.
When I close my eyes and I think of horrible things, that's way up there on the list.
Wait, do you see the picture, the Michael Jackson pictures?
I've seen that,
What?
and that is like an abomination.
That's so bad.
What?
Rendered.
Is it Rafe or Joseph?
It's Rafe.
Rafe Fiends?
No, it's Joseph.
Joseph Fiends?
It's the shitty one.
Okay. Joseph
Because
Fiends
only the
as
shitty
Michael
one.
Jackson.
Doing a road trip with Elizabeth Taylor. Like that's the premise of the movie.
The makeup it's unbelievable.
Horrible.
It's hang on.
I can't.
It's atrocious.
It just gets me angry thinking about it.
It looks like a Mr. Show sketch.
Yeah.
Open, goddammit.
God damn it.
What is that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not horrifying. I mean, it's horrible, but it's not horrifying.
I didn't mean horrifying, like, oh dear God. It's just like, what were they thinking? Like, this is, what have you done? I mean, I remember when they announced that he was going to play Michael Jackson, and it was like, well, makeup and special effects, those things are pretty good now. And then you look at it and go, what? That's like someone missed the in between on Saturday Night Live and didn't get the makeup right, and it was just like, just whatever. Yep.
All right, let's do this thing.
Okay.
I guess I can go over here.
Usual system.
Get your dad away and
Yeah, put your dad away.
and
Put it this way.
put these gophers over here.
Go for gas.
All right, welcome back.
Hey,
Second half.
Second half.
So,
Yeah.
I think we all determined that we haven't watched shit except for you.
You
Chuck.
watched me?
Yeah, well, we watched you. Shit.
No, I had a couple of leftover things from Golden Jocks marathon viewing week.
Okay.
So real quickly, I just wanted to say that the Jungle Book and the Angry Birds movie, which are both on Netflix, are surprisingly okay. They are.
I don't have time for surprisingly.
They are beyond Chuck Fine. They are legit good, not
I've heard
great.
Jungle Book is pretty good.
Jungle Book is surprisingly strong, even though it is basically a buddies movie. It is just talking animals, but it's done really well, and the voice cast is amazing. And the Angry Birds movie has jokes in it that have no business being in a kids movie. No business.
I don't give a fuck. I will not watch that movie. Just like they could tell me the fucking Emoji Movie is the next Lego movie. I don't give a shit. I will never watch that.
It's fine. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying that in a world where there are so many shitty animated movies, the Angry Birds movie is not the bottom of the barrel. It is a 3 out of 5 star movie.
In the world of toilet wines, this is not the worst one.
It's so good we call it Pruno.
Look, it's all right. It's all right. And the Jungle Book movie is good.
Toilet vintage.
But so I wanted basically to turn some time into asking you guys a question, and I thought maybe we could discuss this on the air.
Okay.
I have a question about Captain America Civil War.
Okay.
And this is kind of based on my reaction to it when I saw it, which of the 3, I think it's the least. I really kind of almost didn't enjoy it. But something that came up in our discussions of it over time when all of you have seen it, and then again during our Golden Jocks, is that everyone kind of pointed to the airport scene and went, oh my God, this is awesome. I love this airport scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is not an accusation. This is not me going like, okay, fuckers, justify it. But for me, I'm sitting there and I'm going, this is stupid. Like, they're all fighting each other and they're all pulling their punches and this is dumb and why are they fighting each other? They've been easily manipulated, and this is really dumb. But I just want to know, like, some of you were saying, like, oh, this is my comic childhood come true and everything. I want to understand that side of it. I want to understand the comic mentality of it. Why is it awesome?
Well, I'm sitting here thinking you're stupid.
Okay, fine.
No.
Always a good way to start an argument.
Yeah, well, all right. Please go on. I can see your point.
Can you? Because you might be too stupid to get.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think. We're dealing with an up here, and you're kind of
sure.
Chuck fine.
You're right. I didn't.
Well,
get
that's just
it.
his height, not his intelligence.
Yeah. It kind of correlates in this case.
I'm going to cut all this.
No. I don't think you're stupid. I understand that these guys are. Well, for one, they get to a point where they really start fucking each other up for real. And yes, their motivations are stupid, but the motivations in the entirety of the movie are kind of stupid. I liked it just for the fact that it's a good-ass action sequence, and it's a bunch of cool-ass superheroes duking it out in a good set, and I thought it was shot well, and it looked fucking awesome. I don't care about the plot significance of it at all.
All right. So just spectacle-wise.
Spectacle, yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think a lot of it has to do with using Spider-Man properly,
Right.
because it feels like so many of the other movies had not done that, and that granted the Ant-Man part of it doesn't make sense because
I'm gonna, like I said, I'm
Yeah.
trying to dance around some spoilers because, like, you could talk about these moments, and if someone hasn't seen it, it kind of takes the thunder out of it.
Well, so like, I thought the Spider-Man bits of it were good because he was an outsider and was kind of like apologizing for everything he was doing as he was doing it. I thought that was kind of cute and charming and everything. I love Spider-Man in this. I thought it was probably the best Spider-Man there's been in a movie of the modern era. The Ant-Man stuff didn't necessarily make sense because Paul Rudd's character kind of seems smarter than to just be thrown into a scenario and just do whatever he's told. Like, okay, these guys are also good guys, but you're siding with us here, so go fuck them up. Seemed odd for him to go, yeah, okay, that'll be fine, I'll do that.
Well, except, I think they were attempting to establish that he has some rapport with Falcon.
Right.
From his movie.
from Ant-Man.
Yes.
So, it was kind of like,
He's hung out with Falcon.
I'm with you because I know you, and I kind of want a pathway into this whole cool-ass Avengers lifestyle.
And he also geeks out about meeting Captain America.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like, I don't know. I guess a lot of that movie just rubbed me the wrong way. And so when it got to the point where they're all just fighting each other over something stupid, it just seemed like you guys just basically met. You haven't been super friends for that long, and now you're all just like, well, time to almost murder each other. Because some of the people involved are just humans.
Yeah.
and they could easily just get accidentally murdered during this, which I kind of thought was where at least one character was going to end up getting fucking murdered in this, and that would have been like, oh, maybe we should stop fighting. But it's just the motivation of all of it. Just it seemed to played right into the hands of everyone saying, hey, you guys are constantly just doing whatever you want and fucking shit up, and you need to be on fucking leashes. But then there was no consequence from that. There was never any kind of like, hey, you guys just totally fucked up an airport because you're all having some childish beef with one another because you haven't even properly researched what you're mad about. Yeah. Who's going to pay for that? And
yes. I feel like with all of these movies, you're approaching them too much in a real life scenario. Like you did the same damn thing with the Avengers.
If you approach every cop movie ever, they're just filling out paperwork for the next 45 years.
Right.
I know, but
it's like if you're looking at them like that, then
there's a fine line because I'm not. I am directly drawing a line in the sand between DC and Marvel movies because some are good and some are shitty. Because the DC movies are like actively attempting to force you to look at the devastation, whereas I feel like for the most part, a few little spats aside, the Marvel movies aren't about fuck. We're doing our shit and fuck everybody else. The DC movies are like, we're doing our shit and fuck everything, and then until like, oh look, innocents are involved, and that's the entire fucking plot of Batman v Superman. Of oh shit, you fucked this up. It's your fault.
Yeah.
I would argue it's the plot of Civil War. Also, the whole thing hinges on the end of the other Avengers movie.
But I mean, like they had a spat in the first Avengers movie, like when they all kind of came together. Like there was some issues.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, your brother's the one that fucked some shit up.
I guess my thing is I could just watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like there was just a lot of fun, well choreographed action and well timed, and everyone got a moment to shine in those scenes. You know, because I could watch the safe chase in Fast 5 and go, "Oh man, they killed everyone in that bank. Everyone driving those cars is fucking dead. They murdered a lot of innocent people dragging that safe behind their
those
cars."
Cops are on the take, man.
Yeah. You could approach it like that and go, "Man, that's reprehensible.
And
I
also,
can't believe they did.
At least
this.
they went for
I
an
don't
empty
like
airport
this movie anymore."
And Tony Stark could write a check when it's all done. Like
They did evacuate the airport.
I get that, and please don't think I'm approaching this like the Man of Steel thing, which is how everyone approached Man of Steel, which is basically like you murdered millions of people.
Well, because that forced you to. I mean, I honestly wasn't. I mean, I think I was a little bit conscious of like Jesus. I mean, because it was just a CG nightmare at that point. But that movie forces you back into it because by the end, it's like Zod is literally putting innocents in danger, and it's like, oh yeah, there's people here. Fuck.
Right.
You know.
I mean, I guess my problem with it wasn't necessarily the airport thing. Was not necessarily the property damage or potential. But I'm not looking at it from a moral standpoint. Is what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is like, I guess that what I'm hearing is the spectacle of it is cool. Therefore, it's awesome, and would be awesome if it was the exact same scene with a team of the good guys versus a team of the bad guys fucking each other up. But I guess what I'm saying is like, why are people into all of a sudden the team of good guys splitting into two and fighting each other?
Because that's been comic books for fucking decades.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like every comic book story has heroes fighting heroes. Like it is, and I don't like it. I like personally, I hate that they always do it because it's always like people have known each other for years. Like it's the whole this one piece of information changes everything for a relationship. It's like no, it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. It's just that sort of thing, but it's a thing that's been in comics for decades and decades.
I agree. Sometimes it's a little bit lazy. Sometimes it stems from. I mean, imagine if you tried to like give enough screen time and not finish off the villains. Like the problem is like you can't have a band of villains come together and have a big ass awesome fight because they always like dispatch with the villain somehow by the end. They rarely ever come back. So it's not like, and then when they try to do too many, it gets convoluted. Like 3 villains in a movie is too much. I mean, that's a proven rule. From Batman back in the day, the Batman and Robin had 3 villains, and fucking Spider-Man 3. Like all these things. It's like when you have 3 villains, that's too much. Like it just always breaks a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
X-Men movies kind of work because it's like, whatever, we've got this Brotherhood of Mutants, like it's just that it's never been handled properly. Like I feel like the X-Men movies would be a perfect venue for having that cool action, having it be justified. It's just no one's really ever like tried to delve into it. Now that you got people trying to make good X-Men movies, they're now back to like focusing on practically on one villain.
Yeah.
Except for the Sentinel stuff in Days of Future Past, which was cool, but I don't know. Like I said, it's a little bit lazy, but like at the same time, have you never like been around somebody long enough that like you've gotten into a fight with someone that was like your friend or family? Like, you've never actually gotten into like a fisticuffs with someone you then go, sorry, I lost my head, and then just imagine having superpowers.
Yeah.
No, because he kills him.
Well, I mean, if you both had superpowers, I'm just saying, like, you're 2 super dudes, and you like somebody like uses the last of the peanut butter and puts it back in the you motherfucker.
It just seemed to me like that fight would have ended a lot sooner before like the catastrophic thing that happens to end that, where everyone's like, oh, whoa, too real. It's like, what are you guys doing? You're firing basically nuclear blasts at each other this entire time, just really not trying to murder each other. What did you expect was going to happen? It just, I don't know. the movie rubbed me the wrong way for a lot of different reasons, but it just, when it got to that and have everyone say, oh my god, the airport scene is so great, I'm like, yeah, the spectacle of it is great, but from like a standpoint, it's like, what if in one of the Star Trek movies, half the crew joined another ship, and then they were just like, hey, fuck you guys, we're gonna have space battles the whole time, and it's like, well, wait, why? You guys are friends. What's happening?
I guess...
They stopped becoming friends and started becoming real.
I knew that was going there, too, and I couldn't stop you fast enough.
God damn it.
I will say this. I think a big part of it for me personally, as a comic fan, as someone who read the entire actual Civil War run and saw the movie, it's unfortunate they can't give you the good reason from the comic book. It's just too large of scale of a thing to try to encapsulate in one movie.
Yeah.
I think it's just like, given what they had to work with and the number of Marvel heroes that they could use that they had to work with, it's pretty fucking awesome. I mean, like I said, the reasons, the justifications are very similar in the comics, but it's more clearly defined down a line. Like you can wholly understand why people are on either side of this, and you actually feel things like when someone like Spider-Man is dragged into the wrong side, technically speaking. That's the weird thing, is like I've actually heard a lot of people say in the movie version they're totally behind what Iron Man's doing, which is weird because like in the comic books it was wholly registration is fucking bad. Like there is no bones about it. Like you're an idiot if you're choosing that side of it, because it was all basically a giant allegory for the Patriot Act and you know, the whole, if we surrender our freedom or surrender our liberties for freedom, we have neither, whatever, privacy for freedom.
See, anyway. I think in that movie, for me, there were two very distinct points of conflict, and they focused on the wrong one. It almost seemed like the Registry was just kind of like, yeah, well, we have a difference of opinion. Some of us are going to do it, some of us aren't. No big deal. It's the other factor in it, which is the Iron Man discovering certain things that turns him into frenzied bloodlust. That's like, I could see some of them siding with him and being like, yeah, we need to hunt that motherfucker down. And, Cap is obviously like, no, that I'm not going to allow that to happen. But that comes so late in that movie and is after the airport thing, where it's just like, that's the proper motivation.
Like I said, I think a lot of the cinema problem is that they, even though it was a Captain America movie, they should have just said, Cap's right. It's his movie. He's right, because I mean, like I said, it would have been in keeping with the original story. But I think the problem is like everybody loves all the Avengers, and you can't say like, well, Robert Downey Jr. is a jackass. Like now we're going to hate him from now on. They had to split it down the middle for cinematic purposes, because you couldn't like have him show up in other movies and be like, well, you're a dick. Fuck you.
I guess for a movie that is technically a Captain America movie, it, for me, did not sell the point that Captain America was right. It sold the fact that he thought he was right, but he was coming off like a douche about it.
Right.
And just a self-righteous douche about it. And it's just like, I agreed with his point in Winter Soldier, which I watched before this, which I keep making this mistake of, I will watch the previous Captain America movie before that one. So like when I watched Winter Soldier for the first time, I didn't like it very much because I had just watched the first one, which is fucking incredible. This time I went back and watched Winter Soldier again and thought, oh wow, okay, this movie is suddenly shockingly relevant to modern time and is really well done, and I liked it so much better. And then watched Civil War and I was like, oh no, this doesn't make any sense. These motivations are dumb. They don't make sense to me. So maybe 2 years from now I'll watch it again on its own and be like, okay, that's a good movie. But I just needed to understand from comic point of view and just different opinions. If I asked on Twitter, Jesus Christ, I would just be. I don't want that reaction.
At that point, I had already switched off my care for plot reasoning because I was already like, they're just.
So it's a fun, good time spectacle.
They're just
action
being
movie.
pissy. Okay. So, all right, whatever happens, I want to see. Superheroes punching each other for a while.
Yeah. So it's multifaceted. There's history in the comics that's fun to see, and there's spectacle, which,
and like
is,
I said, I actually
fun.
Here's the weird thing is like, I'm not one of those comic people. Like when I see somebody change something to make it more cinematic and make it less stupid comic thing, I actually wholly applaud that. Like I said, when I was watching that movie, I was like, it started dawning on me. He's like, yeah, you can't have one side be wholly right and one side be wholly wrong because they're going to come back together, and then you're going to look at all those people and be like, no, you were wrong. Like, you're shitty now. You know?
And to me, I think more the reason I mentioned it is because that's the main thing I remember from the movie. You know, because I haven't seen it since whatever it was, May that it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I haven't seen it since then.
Okay.
I don't remember a ton that was in there. I don't remember what's in the first half hour or so.
Okay.
You know, all I remember is, hey, they had this awesome fight in the airport, and then I kind of remember some of the stuff near the end, but,
Okay.
you know.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring it up last week, but, you know, my God, 4-hour Golden Jocks show.
Yeah,
So.
we went a little long.
Yeah.
So is anybody have anything else, or you want some emails?
Nope. I will.
do some
When I return,
email.
I will continue on the pinball thing.
Sweet.
Cool.
All right. First one we got is from Christian in Norway, who says, "Where do you draw the line on what constitutes a movie?" He says, "It's explained, Chuck."
Okay.
Okay. I like that
Yeah.
subject.
It says, "Dear BMFcasters, after listening to podcasts and watching a lot of videos of people talking about bad movies, something started to bother me. Many of the movies, quote unquote, talked about aren't really movies. Some are horrible instructional videos and homemade documentaries, but even the ones that are supposed to be an actual movie with actual plot and acting can barely qualify as a movie. Luckily, you guys haven't had too many of those. Birdemic is perhaps the closest, with its horrible special effects and very bad acting. But in general, the movies you watch are fairly decent movies. Where do you draw the line on what constitutes a movie? How horrible must the acting, set design, and special effects be before you recognize it as a one-off, homemade, no-budget, self-published crap that isn't really a movie? Or is everything ever distributed on home video fair game for you to talk about? Christopher from Norway, sent fra e-post for Windows 10.
Dumpster Baby.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
we're not going to watch shorts, so it's got to. It's
gotta be
generally
at
got
least
to be
an
feature
hour.
length.
Yeah.
It's
shot on film.
well, I mean,
No,
for
we've done
the most part.
We've done like Hell Spa and Vampire Cop.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I mean, like
those are video.
It can't be any. You can't say like anything on video because then you have workout tapes and Tybo. And while we love Billy Blanks, he has to be doing something,
Kicking people in the
he has-
face.
He has to be evolving a plot.
Right, yes.
I mean, it's weird because I mean the easiest answer is it has to be like a basic 3-act structure kind of story thing. That's a move. That's what makes a movie. But then you have like weird things, like like joke movies. Like what do you call a Kentucky Fried Movie or something that's just like
Spoof movie.
a sketch movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
like Agent 00 Soul was barely a movie.
Right? Yeah. I
oh,
mean,
God.
It's
Oh,
got to
man.
kind of like tick most of the boxes on what is considered a movie.
right.
There are a few things that it has to be, which feature length, watchable.
Well,
I mean,
not
like,
on,
like Forbidden
like,
Zone has
paper.
no fucking plot. It's just it's literally like jump from scene to scene of consciousness of, you know what I mean? There's nothing even
They
remotely.
think there's a plot in that movie.
Is there? Because I don't remember.
No,
anything.
there isn't, but they think there is because they
Yeah.
some scenes are strung together, and some stuff happens. So they think they're going from point A to point B, but they take so many detours along the way, it turns into a clusterfuck.
I think we've got a process of well, one, the thing is that we're not looking for the worst thing. If we were looking for the worst thing, it would be very easy to
That's incredibly easy to find.
dive down into these shot on video made by some people
And just
in
bring in my sex
Kentucky.
tapes.
Yeah, that would
I mean,
not be fun.
there's at least 600 movies alone, as we said, starring was it Misty Monday or
Yeah,
whatever? Like,
yes.
yeah. Like literally any one of those. It's like
God, she
those are
just came up this week again. And
seriously like just the shittiest things you can imagine.
Yeah. But so we're not necessarily looking for that. We're looking for something we're going to like, and therefore it's easy to eye stuff and go, "Oh yeah, that's probably something."
Yeah.
For the most part, we can someone can glance at a trailer and go, "Oh, okay, that's the thing." I mean, you could look at a trailer and go, "Well, it's probably not going to be all that, but that looks like something we would enjoy if it's not misleading." So,
Yeah.
Like Firehead. Like I'm seeing it sitting right over there.
Yeah.
That has an awesome trailer.
Well, and that's part of why we're doing it is because like you hear something sounds awesome, we're like we want to see if it if it follows through on it, and I feel bad because a lot of people tag us on Twitter with stuff and they're like, yeah, we're gonna watch this piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it's like we'd never like
good luck.
yeah we never go into anything hoping it's a piece of shit ever.
No.
I mean, the
You might
easiest way
expect it to be.
Yeah.
The easiest thing we could say is like we have never, I don't think, once sat down to hate watch something. The kids are saying that these days.
No, because we bailed
Kids
on
were saying that like 2 years
Juggalo
ago.
movie.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying we don't sit down going like, bring on the shit. I can't wait to make fun of this. I
Well,
mean,
that's what I'm saying. We could have either kept going or revisited that Insane Clown Posse movie and been like, man, fuck these assholes.
Yeah.
Like, and we didn't. We were just
And-
like, this is not for us. We have to stop. We have to watch something
Yeah,
else.
and like Birdemic. Chuck and I loved Birdemic.
Yeah. Birdemic's stupid fun.
Yeah, because it like tipped over and was something like, all right.
Yeah.
Like this is
Those birds are dive bombing things and exploding.
yeah.
is
That's
that the
fucking-
one where he heard a mountain lion? Just
Yes,
randomly?
yeah,
Okay.
he had to go
I have to
because
go.
he heard a mountain lion. Like just that, like
I still don't use that enough in daily conversation.
Well, there's a very similar break in conversation in The Happening, wasn't there? Where like a deputy just suddenly like stops midway and like
Yeah.
I seem to remember a very similar
Might
interaction.
have been. Yeah.
Where it was
well, I
just
think
like
when he's talking with the lady about lemonade or something. I don't know, but you know, there's
But I mean, like, Samurai Cop is made for $12, and part of that movie is filmed in the editing studio where they were making the movie. I mean, it's just, it's like, yeah, that's barely a movie, but that thing is ridiculous in all the best ways. And you look at The Room, which is just like, what is this? I mean, this is someone who has no clue what they're doing and shouldn't be making a movie, but
yeah.
that thing,
I
you
mean,
know,
some of those are we said going into it, I had no idea what The Room was.
Yeah.
No clue
Yeah.
whatsoever. And some of these I felt like we just had to do because they're
they're
the things that are
ones.
listed among like
Yeah.
bad movies. And I feel like in the earlier days we were attempting to like, all right, this is probably going to be shitty, but let's watch it anyway, kind of deal.
yeah. I feel like some of them could stand a revisit, like from that first year or two, where it was like our brains weren't properly calibrated for watching some of this stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know, because I think we all gave The Room bags, but we'd all watch The Room again. We all went and saw it in a
Yeah.
theater together. But when we reviewed it, we were like, no.
I wouldn't want to revise my rating because that was the unsullied
Yeah,
feeling
that
that
is
I
true
had
also.
on it. You have to learn to love The Room. Unless, if it's already been sort of spoiled for you, I guess, how you should like The Room, you have to learn how to like The Room.
Right.
If it's just foisted upon you,
Yeah,
then
getting it without any knowledge whatsoever and being in a room with nobody with any knowledge whatsoever, it's a tough sell.
Yeah, experiencing it with people who are not prepared for it, while you are also not prepared for it, is like,
Well, yeah, and
it's just an eye-opening thing.
and
just,
Birdemic, I mean, that first 40 minutes or so, there were points where we're like, we might need to shut this off.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I can handle this.
hanging out with
And
the
then
family.
fucking Birdpocalypse hits and
Yeah, like just out of nowhere, it's just like, and the next day happens, and all of a sudden, just birds are exploding into gas stations. You're like,
like
what?
1998 screensaver level bird, like
Yes. Yeah, flying video toaster shit.
So it may be barely a movie, but you know what? It entertained the shit out of me from that point forward.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and I learned the proper price of a solar panel. So that's important
panel.
knowledge.
yeah.
So I guess we got a voicemail.
we rated Birdemic really well.
Did we all?
3324.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
I know early on I was having trouble with the whole good bad thing, like because I came along.
They get 1
a
to 5
year-
jocks and robot jocks.
Right, I know that now, but at the time I was I still go back to Elves, which is a movie I
Elves.
should not have given bags to because that movie is so bad it's entertaining, and that is a jocks movie if I'm entertained by it. So even me early on was just like, because I was like struggling with this movie's really bad, so therefore it needs to get jocks because that's the negative sliding scale.
That'd be bags. You said jocks.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, it's
Bags.
It's fine.
I'm new here.
That's fine.
At least you're not still an intern.
Yeah, thank
But
God.
yes, we do have a voicemail. Let's
Okay,
play
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, BMFcast, this is Evan from the stream. Just wanted to call in about your Golden Jocks. I pretty much mostly agree with all of it. Loved it. I loved Hell or High Water. Great movie. I had actually a bigger connection with that movie than the highly praised Manchester by the Sea. And when I tell people that, I pretty much get the same reaction I'm sure other people give DJ when he says Hardcore Henry was his favorite of the year. But that movie was pretty hardcore. The two movies that I loved of 2016, one, Arrival. You guys talked about it last time. Great movie. Highly recommend it. Especially if you like movies like Children of Men. It kind of has a semblance to that. But one I want to recommend to you guys, and I recommend to everybody, Hunt for the Wilder People. Great, wonderful, just humanistic comedy, full of just glee. Don't want to throw in hyperbole. Please go see it, especially if you like things like the Flight of the Conchords. Really recommend that one. All right, here's 2017. Crash and burn, motherfuckers.
Thanks.
What was
Evan.
What some Hunt for something?
Hunt for the Wilder People. It's
Wilder People. Okay.
Taika Waititi's, the guy who made What We Do in the Shadows. That was his
Okay.
next movie before going to do Thor. So, which is, again, like, the fuck is that guy doing making a Thor movie? But hey,
Haven't all the Thor directors
it'll have
been
the
weird?
jokes. Yeah.
Hey, it's better to be a Thor winner than a Thor loser.
Ah, you son of a fuck.
Jerk. Got him.
Yep. Thanks, Evan.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, we'll watch Arrival. Whenever you can compare something to Children of Men, you sold me. So,
You son of a bitch.
yeah.
Dinosaur.
All right. How do people also send us things to say we should see them?
Well,
Smooth, Chuck.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Good transition. I like it.
Salesman of the Year, Chuckles.
King of the Segway.
Chuckles McJerkface.
If they want to email, they can email us at bmf@bmfcast.com. If they would like to send us a voicemail, 9105-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263 into their telephones. Or if they want to just go out to the website and see where our social buttons will lead them, they can go to bmfcast.com and look on the right-hand side. There's a bunch of buttons. Take you to the socials, where we is. Also, just a reminder, we have a Patreon out there, patreon.com/BMFcast. We have some extra bonus material that goes up with some regularity, as promised for the most part, kind of. But it's a low entry fee. If you're at the $1 or above level, you will get all that extra content free. So check that out. Again, that's patreon.com/BMFcast. Don't forget we have an Instagram out there. We're running through the archives of our material, and we'll shortly be showing new and sassy things. So
like
stay
sassy,
tuned on
man.
that Insta.
Can't wait to get sassy.
Oh
Are
yeah,
they covers of sassy magazines?
maybe.
Sassy.
All right. Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
All right.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ,
I'm Chuck.
and this is BMFcast out. Bye, motherfuckers.
Thank you.
Bye, motherfucker.
So I think I shared this story once before, but it seems relevant with my bad joke. It's still one of the cutest things I've ever witnessed in person. Was one Halloween. Yeah, it was you, BJ. You were hanging out at Halloween. It was adorable. It was totes adorable. But no, handing out candy and stuff, and this little kid walks up and he's got a Thor costume on, like the muscle suit kind, little tiny skinny little kid with a fake muscle suit thing, and it was Shiny Light T-Strell's wife was like, "Oh, are you Thor?" And he goes, "No, I'm 6." It was the best goddamn thing ever. It was so good.
That could be his catchphrase. He can say it every week. People will applaud.
It was so good.
Don't be ridiculous.
Like, I didn't want to laugh because, like, I didn't want to make the kid think, I was laughing at him or whatever, but, like, as soon as he walked away, I was like, that's so good.
I would have fucking high-fived that kid.
Yeah. I don't think he did it like it was being clever. I think he was, like,
I don't care.
misunderstood.
I would have been like,
That's the best.
I'd be like, yo, kid, you just fucking owned her.
Right, yeah.
It should be like with muscles like these. How could I be Thor?
Young iced tea.
Yeah.
Hey, give it some candy with muscles
I've been
like these.
lifting.
Pretty Thor.
Muscles like these.
I can't wait to watch Thor 4.
Yeah. It's called Monia. The kids are doing. It's some real heavy shit. You have to be like worthy enough to smoke it.
Kid that grinding up, kid that grinding up nails and putting them in the beer. They call it Mjolnir.
All right.
They're getting hammered out there.
Shut it off.
Wait, I can do iced tea shit all night. It's so fun.
You can go home. We're
Yeah.
going to do the iced tea radio hour for the next 25 minutes.
It's ice time. The tea is for thrifty.
Wait, 50 cents here?
He's spitting hot fire.
We need to watch more Ice Tea.
Curtis
Yeah,
Jackson.
we do.
Yeah, James Remar was BMFcast alum from Gun.
Is that the only James Remar movie we've done?
Yes.
Holy shit! How is that
9
possible?
million movies. How have we not seen it?
We've never done Too Fast, Too Furious for an episode. I've seen it enough times to be like, yeah, James Remar.
Well, no,
Of
I've
Too Fast, Too Furious.
seen him enough in everything.
You've seen him
It's
enough
been
in
like
everything.
5,000 movies.
Now I gotta look at his list.
I'm stuck in IFT mode. I can't get out.
I hate to tell you this. It's the truth.
I don't.
It's the truth.
I'm not doubting it's the truth. I can't believe all the shitty movies that guy has probably made. How we've missed them.
How is this possible?
How's it possible?
I'm always looking for a new content stream.
It's a new memory eraser.
So watching James Remar movies.
Jeez.
Next year's going to be the year of Remar.
Remar.
But
Yeah.
we won't tell anybody until
Here's a hint.
November.
He's probably the same shady guy in all of them.
Oh sure.
All right, time to set this to update.
Oh fuck! Yeah, I forgot it. I have to do that.
What?
The updating that shit.
Gotta update that shit.
So wait, you're saying the built-in updates don't work or do work?
Oh, they stopped because there's a new
Whole new
or
version of
whatever.
it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the built-ins won't do anything though. But strangely enough, though, the chat worked today.
Oh, okay.
They
But it
Oh,
didn't-
because they changed it again.
changed something.
Yeah, because it did not work on Monday.
Are we still on the internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm about to take us off though.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
We're not bantering. We're talking tech.
Sorry.
We're talking tech. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Talking
so this
tag.
dude has a surprising.